I can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Salute, and welcome. Welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, so we getting deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope all of you are enjoying time with your families, okay? All of you, hope you're all in good health, and I hope everything is blessed in your world, in your life, wherever you're listening to us here, from here tonight, wherever you are, okay? Really do hope that, because family is very important. And tonight, we definitely got to take care of some family business, some lineage business. Oh, yes, we do. First and foremost, give me a thumbs up or a black fist in chat if you can hear me loud and clear, ladies and gentlemen. I know there was a bit of a delay with the broadcast yesterday. I was spending time with my folks, okay, and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I like, let me, it'll be too late to try to do it. So we'll just come back the next day, okay? Because we definitely got to go ahead and get into this here tonight, because we're going to be examining a conversation. And as you see with the title of the broadcast, we have to get clear those of our lineage. And salute to our non-LPA brothers and sisters as well. Nothing but respect for all of you that show respect to us. But these tethers, and tethers do not mean, let me say this again, because you have to be clear with your language. When we say tethers, we've said it many times, but I'm going to say it yet again here tonight. It's tether class. Doesn't mean all melanated immigrants, all black immigrants. No. That's action-based. You have to do something. Be a tether, which is be disrespectful. Case in point, an example would be a Candace Owens, okay? The example would be Austin Chenge, okay? That little clown that was running. I think he was running for office up there in Michigan or somewhere, talking about he's going to abolish Black History Month. Okay, I mean, look, those are your examples of tethers, all right? I think that's pretty self-explanatory right there. You're a brother or sister that's non-FBA, you show us nothing but respect, that term does not apply to you. Start undermining us in our homeland, yep, that's when we're going to hit you with that term unapologetically. So a lot of people try to gaslight like they don't know what that means, but hey, tough titty New York City, because we're not going to mince any words over here tonight. We're going to examine some conversation that, is going to really underscore this, and I really wish I would have had the privilege to catch this one. Okay, we're going to be analyzing a little bit of conversation from one of our brother Tariq Nasheed's one of his Twitter spaces, but it's some points I got to touch on with this. So before we get into that here tonight, let me go ahead and scroll up and greet my esteemed guests. I see who's in here. I see Dr. Chanel Phillips in here. What's going on, sister? B. Mosby is joining us. I see Charlie X in here. Patricia Jenkins, Tanisha Murdoch. I see Lakeisha Morehouse. Gwendolyn Griffith is in here. Let's see. I see Heat St. Cloud in here. My good brother Nightfall Drop. The Lone Wolf Effect is in here. Michael Williams is joining us. Kevin Blackwell is in here. Dad Miller TV is in here. Let's see. Seven Skills. I see you, good brother. Let's see. Project Leroy's in the building. Sister Stuns Ed is in here. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Good brother Charles Gibson. I see you. Let's see. I think that's everybody. Only Pamela's way. I see you too. Courtney G just got in. Salute and welcome to everybody and anyone that'll be joining us in attendance here tonight. So, family, we gonna get straight to brass tacks. We're not gonna even hit no sponsor or anything like that. We just gonna get straight to it, because let me show you something right before we start here. Let me show you something. Take a good look at these two flags, okay? They're good. They're just a couple that pertain to our lineage. Now, before anybody points it out about June 19, 1865, yes, I know that's not technically the exact date of Juneteenth, but it's the one that's recognized, okay? It's the one that we've been recognizing on our own before. It was a federal holiday, and it's the one that's federally recognized. We know the history about the actual date. So for anybody jump on, that ain't the actual date. We know. And what date is that? The date that our people were emancipated from slavery. Now, let's deal with that term emancipation. If you get emancipation, if you get emancipation, yes, that's at the hand of someone else. But let's be clear. Just because them folks said that doesn't mean that we weren't kicking ass and taking names to get our freedom, okay? Let's be clear about that. So just because they wrote that in the history books, that doesn't mean that's what actually happened with a lot of things, okay? If you follow this channel, you know I've covered several things throughout history that were not exactly like them folks say, okay? So let's just get that clear. But the reason why I have this flag up here and the maroon flag is, let's get something straight. And I was one of the main people, I was one of the first people to say this. It's been a lot of people of the tether class in particular that have come over here, their families immigrated here. That's one. And then the other, well, I was born here. Okay, that's all fine and good. You got citizenship on paper, or you was either an anchor baby. But this whole I'm Black American, I kept telling people, I said early on when the reparations movement really started to pick up steam, I kept telling people, just saying we're Black Americans is not enough. A lot of y'all, if you follow me on X, you know I was one of the first people to say that. A lot of people act like they didn't want to hear what I was saying. I was like, damn it. If I say something about something, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And sure enough, now everybody catching on to what I was talking about. See, a lot of times, let me tell y'all something, man. This channel may not be the biggest, but when I open my mouth on this microphone to say something, I'm not just whistling Dixie. I'm looking way down the line a lot of times, 10, 12 steps before a lot of these people with bigger channels than me. A lot of these people tell you they know everything under the sun. I'm looking way in advance of anything that they even thinking about, okay? Because one, I move around, I pay attention to social climates, attitudes, and history, and see how all that combines to correlate to what we're dealing with in present day. I said the reason why just saying Black American isn't enough is because it doesn't specify which lineage you're talking about. See, when you say foundational Black American freedmen, that locks that lineage down airtight. Okay, that locks our lineage down airtight. There's no wiggle room. You've been seeing people trying to, well, what about this? What if that? What if that? Oh, just all the what if can I be? It's not a club you can join. You either are FBA or you're not. And look, let me say this to the people that aren't. It's okay if you're not. Okay? It's okay if you're not. You got your own heritage and lineage that you should be proud of. Okay? See, that's another thing I need to do a separate broadcast on that, because if you're not of our lineage, that doesn't mean that you don't have your own lineage to be proud of. The main thing, since while we're delineating, let's be clear, we're late to the delineation party. Everybody been doing that. We were the only people for the longest talking about, oh, everybody Black just like us, oh, our Black brothers and sisters. Then all this time, that tether class, not all Black immigrants, that tether class was running around, I'm not Black, I'm this. I'm not Black, I'm that. So now we're like, you know what? We was hard-headed. You're right. You're not Black, okay? You gonna be Nigerian American, Haitian American, Jamaican American, whatever American, okay? That's what you get to be now, okay? And there's no hatred behind it. Cool, we got it, all right? But as soon as we embrace that, and we're the last ones to the party, now everybody tries to Africanize us as if we're generic Africans. They never do that with Haitian people, never do that with Jamaican people. Everybody knows that we have African descent, but our families are here. The word ethnogenesis, Lord knows I got to go into this before we deal with the main subject matter here tonight. I'm one of the few people that calls it out as vividly as I do. There's a reading comprehension problem. And then there's also an ability not to understand when people are talking about something also with those types of people, okay? That's some very ignorant people. So a lot of them don't understand what the term ethnogenesis means. Yes, just because some of us have African descent, some of our people came from the continent, some were already here, okay? So our lineage is a mixture of that, but once you've been somewhere for 500 plus years, we don't have no connections to the continent like that, most of us. We're talking about, and then see, look, here's the other schizophrenic thing about it. Okay, for the people that like to Africanize my people, okay, foundational Black American freedmen, the minute that we say, okay, cool, if we are Africans, well, what about expediting the path to getting some citizenship over there, to get dual citizenship? Oh, well, ooh, I can't do that now. Ooh, oh, it's all kind of, I ain't got it. But the minute that a white man, a Chinese man, or somebody show up, oh, not only do they get citizenship, get to steal you, rob you blind, all your resources, hey, you go make them tribal chiefs and shit. I've seen that with my own eyes. Can't nobody tell me different. I have seen it. Okay? I've seen it. So everybody's like, all right, cool, man. Do you in your homeland? We ain't got no problem with what you doing. We gonna focus on us, okay? Oh, but that's a problem when you do that. Salute to the good sister AH for the cash out. Thank you very much, my sister. It's a problem when we say we're gonna do that. Well, you just gonna have a problem with it because, see, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I've said this many times before. Let me get a swig of this water here. Hold tight. Just a second. I've said this many times. You all can bear me witness to this. I'm not the nice one in new black media, okay? I sit back and I observe a lot of things. And I'm like, I bite my tongue and I'm like, okay, let me see. Anybody's gonna say anything about that or anybody gonna handle that? And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, cool, no problem. I guess I'll have to be the one to do it. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I have to address something, I ain't gonna beat around the bush or spare words or try to be nice. Fuck your feelings, okay? When it comes to people being disrespectful to my people in my lineage on our own land, we gonna handle that just like they would handle it if we came to their homeland being disrespectful, okay? So I'm just letting you know where we going here tonight. And shout out to my good brother Tariq. He did an excellent job in this space. But there's portions of the conversation that I want to analyze here that was held. And y'all probably know where we going. That crazy heifer that came over there with all this babbling, just aggressively trying to define who we are. Do you know how insane you got to be to come to somebody else's homeland and try to define their existence for them? It's insanity because, see, really, I'm being polite just saying that. But let me just go ahead and take the kid gloves off. Let me tell the class something. A lot of you don't even understand your own history, where you from. How the fuck you gonna flee from your homeland and come here and try to tell us about who we are as a people? A lot of you don't know who any of our grandmaster teachers are. You don't know anything about our native land and our familial ties going back. Because, see, that's the other reason why they all upset and run around here like cockroaches trying to hide up under damn cracks and shit, talking about Trump coming in with this damn mass deportation. Look here, let me say this to all you tethers. You've come over here and cosplay under the I'm Black American 2 identity so long that if your ass is over here illegally, you tend to think that we're just like you, and we're not. We were born here. We can't be deported. The fuck they gonna deport us to? So no, that's your problem. And it's funny too, because like, here's the thing. See, I'm finna go somewhere a lot of people don't. There's one thing that I'm finna put on everybody's mind right here now that a lot of y'all probably don't think about. You know, the tether class idolizes the alabaster people, right? Y'all know who the alabaster people are. They idolize them. Have you ever stopped to look at some of the similarities in the tactics that the alabaster people and tethers use? Because one of the things that alabaster folks love to do, especially with Black America, they try to take a problem that's only affecting them and gaslight us as if it's, oh, see, this is everybody's problem. Like them dwindling birth rates, that's their problem. But yet they'll flip it around and be like, well, see, no, it's everybody's birth rate down. Bullshit. We ain't struggling to have no babies. The only problem that we have, thanks to the accursed fucking Democrats and the baby killing demons in our community, is having the babies and actually getting them here. That's the only problem we have. We ain't having no problem with the actual production of the babies. There's no problem with that. All these white groups and white adjacent folks, yeah, your little genetic struggle genes is a struggling, but that's your problem. Hey, it's out of my hands. A lot of that is the Most High kicking you in your ass. So, hey, who am I to try to stand in the way of what the Most High is going to do to you? Because make no mistake, that's exactly what that is, okay? But see, the tether class tries to take problems, specifically with this mass deportation coming up, and look, I'm not a compassionless man. I'm going to get you some nice parting gifts, okay? I'm going to get you them nut-holding gloves that I've been telling you about. You know, they're going to be well-made. Now, we'll even gift wrap them for you to give them to you on your way out of my country, okay? Your ass shouldn't have been here illegally, all right? So they try to take that problem and make it our problem. No, baby. This is our land. Our roots are tied here. See, let me really twist the knife of truth into the tether class before we get started. If they were to come around trying to deport us, don't you know we got paperwork upon paperwork proving that we're really here? See, we don't have to scam and fake nothing, okay? We got generational paperwork going where every foundational Black American on the sound of my voice in this chat room, you know what I'm talking about. It right now, if you needed to find out something, everybody got their older relative that you can go to that's got everybody paperwork, okay? I'm just saying. So now that's a you problem, tethers. And I'm gonna tell you like this too. See, perhaps my people in majority would be singing a different tune had you come over here and been humble enough to say, hey man, whatever our Black brothers and sisters want, that sacrifice for us to get over here, it's we with whatever they want. Because see, I'm gonna tell you right now, any country I've ever been to, if I go there as a humble, respectful guest. Yeah, I don't get to comment on their personal affairs, but if somebody asks me something, you know what else I always give? Hey man, whatever the people want, man. Whatever the people want, hey, that's what I'm in full support of. I'm just a visitor here. I'm a guest here. But see, here's your problem, tether class. A lot of you come over here, this is your main goddamn problem. You think that this is just the white man's country only. A lot of you are so fucking stupid. You actually think that white people wanted your dumb asses over here. If our ancestors and elders didn't fight for you to have the right to come over here and be citizens, you wouldn't be here. And I'm going to be honest with you. This might hurt some people's feelings. Perhaps if that had been the case, we would be better off as foundational Black American freedmen. I got to go there with it. You don't contribute a goddamn thing useful to our people, with the exception of a handful of writers, okay? Because we will always acknowledge those like Dr. Ben, okay? He wasn't a foundational Black American. Salute to the late, great elder and grandmaster teacher, Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen, okay? Him, several others we could name, Stokely Carmichael, etc. I mean, very few and far in between. And see, here's the thing. A lot of the tethers get the name dropping them types of people. But see, if we look at your behavior and say, okay, does this match up to a Stokely Carmichael, etc.? Your behavior don't, because they weren't trying to undermine our people. They really were about unity as a whole under the term Black, even though they weren't from here. So that's what always gets me when they start trying to name drop. I'm like, And see, let me talk about that. I want all of you to really take to heart what I just said. If you get to engage in these tethers in conversation, when they start name dropping all types of non-FBA people that were actually honorable, and you say all you have to do is cut them off, because not enough people do this. See, I guess I'm the type of person, I don't really have a lot of patience for foolishness and ignorance. You cut them off and say, hey, listen, that person you just named, your behavior doesn't match theirs. They weren't running around calling out people Akatas and all kinds of shit. And see, before anybody try to say that, oh, that's just online. Bullshit. No, it's not. But let's go there, though. Because, see, I'm the type of person, when people start throwing nonsense at me, my common sense actually works, okay? Even if you did try to relegate it to just people online, those are real people that actually feel that way offline, and they've been feeling that way for the longest. And the dangerous thing about it is, in case anybody wants to start the word, that's just words. These hateful bastards are in medical positions. Do you know how dangerous that is to have somebody that's had contempt for you being in charge of your medical health, okay, of your health? Do you know how dangerous that is? Even further, do you know how dangerous that is to have somebody teaching your children that have that mindset towards you? They look like you, but they think they're something else. And they have a hatred for you. Huh? Yeah, see, that is bigger than that. So when people get to talking about, oh, it's just online, that's somebody too slow to actually comprehend that the people online speaking, they're running around in the real world, okay? So that's my mindset. Let me say this too before we get started. I'm talking primarily the foundational Black American freedmen men. Let me say something to my brothers, my fellow brothers. One thing we're going to have to get stomped down about is actual gatekeeping, okay? A lot of people throw that word around, gatekeep this, gatekeep that, but I'm like, do you really understand what that means? See, if you're a gatekeeper, the first thing you need to do is understand history. Now, why am I going there? Let's talk about the great losses, because see, I keep telling people, winning is easy, okay? That's the easy part. In order to maintain wins and victories, you don't do that by just studying the greatness or the wins that somebody has accrued. No, you go back and learn from the losses in history. Let's point out a clear win. Everybody like to talk about the great accomplishments of the Moors, but what was their main fucking weakness? Running around chasing the Spanish nasty non-bathing bitches, okay? That's what fucked them up. They got to fighting amongst each other over them raggedy ass Spanish bitches. And then next thing you know, when you're fighting amongst each other, now you're weak and divided. And then the Spanish were able to come in there and say, okay, we got you now. See, you got to understand also, here's a point of history that a lot of people might not have thought of with that. Don't you know that as much as the Spanish hated the Moors because them brothers was on their shit, okay, they were the inventors of basically modern hygiene as we know it. They even had colognes, etc. They were very talented. Syriab the Moor was a talented singer. They could cook all types of exotic meals. So, of course, they were going to attract the women. But see, from a warfare standpoint, as much as the Spanish hated them being with their women, don't you know at some point they had to say, wait a minute, this could be strategically used to weaken them. Because once they see you get to fighting and bickering over them, you've taken your eyes off the main threat, which is their men. So what I'm saying is in present day, we got to make sure as foundational Black American freedmen men that we don't make the same mistakes of other melanated people in the past when it comes to gatekeeping, okay? And that means you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out with shit. When you close the gate on something, the motherfucker should say close, okay? You don't protect the city or any encampment by letting some in and some out. And let me be clear what I'm saying. I'm not talking about casting off all non-FBA people. That is not what I'm saying. I like to be responsible with my language. What I'm saying is when you see somebody that's off code, whether they FBA or non-FBA, you got to throw their ass on the outside right now. You can't come back in here. In a figurative sense, I'm saying, okay? But see, in a figurative sense, that can also be just like a physical sense. You don't win a war by coddling the fucking enemy. You understand? Because see, I got to call you enemy. If I see the Myron Gaines, and I'm going to go in on his ass soon. Probably going to do that on Patreon because I'm not going to spare any words on that. Oh, just wait. Probably going to do that in about a day or so. Let me tell you something. If I see your ass over there siding with the white supremacists, you're not my people. I don't give a fuck how dark you are. You can be just as dark as me or 10 times as dark as me. Once I hear that come out your mouth, ain't no coming back from that. And see, a lot of people are not comfortable with not forgiving people. Let me talk to y'all, man, because see, there's a lot of people in our community that actually have that problem. You think you're supposed to forgive everybody, and I understand why you do, but again, you better go back and study history. Watch this. Let me show you something. Forgiveness has its place, especially amongst your own people. But ask yourself, who's the least forgiving in America and on the planet? That should be an easy answer. Come on, talk to me, y'all. Who's the least forgiving on the planet? I'm going to see if everybody here is up to speed on where I'm about to go. Who's the least forgiving group of people on the planet? Come on, this should be an easy one right here. All of y'all should be putting this in the chat. Who's the least forgiving people on the planet? Tanisha Murdoch hit it right on the money. That's what I'm talking about. Them damn folks. So see, all that forgiveness and all that shit that they preach to us, do they practice that? No. This is why they're in control of a global system of white supremacy. They know not to play all that forgiveness bullshit and allow detriments amongst them. They're like, this got to go. Now, a lot of times what they deem as a detriment is unjust, but you get my point. We got to cut that bullshit off, man. That's cost us too much. Forgiving people that shouldn't be forgiven, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get into this lesson here tonight. And like I said, shout out to the good brother Tariq Nasheed. We're going to analyze a portion of this. You can find this over on his YouTube channel. But I just got to deal with certain segments of it because it was very well done the way everybody handled it. But there's a couple things I'm going to point out that some folks didn't. Get started.
folks up in here. Let's get new generation. Let's get a new generation. Let's get a new generation.
Hi, Mr. Nasheed.
New gener-
So my name is Vanessa. I'm a political scientist. I graduated from Howard, and I just stumbled across like this whole FBA ADOS movement. I've heard of it, but I've never done like a deep dive into, you know.
Let me stop this lying piece of shit right here, okay? Family, anytime anybody hop over into our space, especially Brother Tariq and She's space, talking about they don't know much about FBA ADOS, that's a bold-faced lie. You can tell us a lie because, one, if you didn't know so much, why would you be over there? Think about it. If you don't have much knowledge on something, you're not going to go right where it's always being talked about. See, a lot of these people like to play and piss in your face and tell you it's a yellow rain. Can't get that off with me, okay? I'm telling you, I don't do spaces as often as I should, but I'm finna start back up because it's a lot that's going to have to be cracked down on. So that's lie number one that she just told. Any of them that come over talking about what is FBA, you already know you wouldn't be over here. That's the first thing. Let's let it continue.
The purpose of it and what you guys are truly fighting for.
Right.
So I guess my question to you, I have a few questions.
Go ahead.
Okay. So my question to you is like the FBAs are, I guess I pieced together like freed Black slaves, right?
No. Foundational Black America. That's a name for the 43 million Black Americans who don't have immigrant background.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So let me pause my good brother right here because, see, first and foremost, I got to give it to my brother. He is very classy, very gentlemanly when folks come in there with that bullshit. Let me tell you something, man. Had this bitch been in my space and she'd have said that dumb shit, I like embarrassing stupid people, okay? I like that. Even if they play dumb, I'd have asked the bitch, I'd have been like, listen, how can we be free Black slaves when nobody that was a slave is living in our lineage today? I'm like, dumbass, could you answer me that question? We are the descendants of our enslaved ancestors, but why would you, I'm like, are you well in the head? See, there's a reason why they don't play with me like that, okay? If you come into a space that I'm hosting with that bullshit, I'm going to be immediately hostile towards you to the point that you know not to bring that shit over here, okay? So that's the first thing. Let's let it continue.
Yeah. Because you have Black people who say that they're Black Americans, like Luther Campbell says he's a Black American, and you have some Dominicans who try to claim to be Black Americans, but they're immigrants. They come from immigrant background. Foundational Black Americans who were here at the founding of the United States, the people who actually built the United States, the descendants of freedmen. That's what a foundational Black American is.
Correct. And these freedmen that they are descendants of came from where? I guess that's my question.
Oh, they came, some of them were indigenous to this land.
Mm-hmm.
They were mixed in with the African people who were brought over during the slave trade, and there was an ethnogenesis. So you became a new ethnic group. So the misnomer of calling us African Americans is incorrect because we ethnogenesis.
So I guess your stance is that before slaves were brought here from Africa, there was already an indigenous population, and that indigenous population was comprised of like dark-skinned Black folks like we see today.
Right. Like Lucia woman, people like that. When you look at the oldest fossil and you can Google what's the oldest human fossil found in the Americas, you're going to see the image of a Black woman come up, and it's called Lucia woman. It's a 13,000 year old fossil that they found and reconstructed. It's the face of a Black woman.
Correct.
Okay, so now this woman claims to be a graduate of Howard University and all of that. That go to show you how piss poor a lot of these so-called HBCUs, which have become tether havens today, has become. But see, I want to deal with the point that my good brother Tariq Nasheed brought up about Lucia women, because this is going to blow your mind right here. Let me ask the audience a question. How many of you have always heard, and a lot of them folks started this bullshit, race is a social construct. How many of y'all have heard that? Okay, because I'm about to blow your mind where I'm going. It's going to be so simple. Even a 5-year-old can get what I'm about to say. How many of y'all have heard that? Audience participation. Most of you in my chat room have heard that, right? Some of you probably believe it. If you do, I'm about to give you something that's going to knock that out the water. I see some people talking about that's a fact. Oh, just wait. Watch where I'm about to go with this, okay? I'm finna show you something. Because, see, the truth is never complex. The truth is always simple, okay? Now, all of you in here are familiar with Lucia Woman if you're well-studied or well-read. And it's okay if you're not, but you don't even have to be familiar with Lucia Woman to get what I'm about to tell you. You know how they was able to determine that that was a black woman? Because, see, this is going to blow that race is a social construct thing out the window. Race is not a social construct. The word race is, it is a genetic fact. You know how? Because if you know anything about black folks, our bone density is nothing like our bone structure nor our hair texture is like any other group on the planet. That's how they were able to tell that that was a black woman. Okay. Oh, yeah. You see how simple that is? See, I don't play them little goofy psychological games. And I understand why a lot of black folks like to latch onto that race is a social construct because it makes you feel better and you want to just kind of let that go by the wayside. No, that's a genetic fact. Case in point, I'll give you another way you know that's some bullshit. You can't get with anybody and procreate and then, you know what I'm saying, get the features that are not those people, okay? It'll be like our features mixed in with it, but there's no such thing as two white folks procreating and then they get something that looks like us, unless somebody been stepping outside their relationship. Same thing with Asians, East Indians, Arabs, etc., okay? The only thing that comes close, and we can tell even with certain folks, even if you got continental Africans, Jamaicans, and Haitians, if you come around long enough, you can tell who our people are. I mean, we do have unique features. Yes, we have some of the same skin tones, but when it comes to that phenotype and how we look, and now we can tell our people now, and that's no disrespect. We just talking facts. So you see how I just debunked that bullshit about race being a social construct? It's not. It's a genetic fact. Because if it wasn't, they wouldn't be able to tell that Lucia Woman was a black woman. And several other these fossils that they found besides her, okay? Because when you start that bone density, whatever hair is remaining, and then, okay, for the living, I'm gonna blow your mind if you're a younger person, for the living black folks, did you know that our organs are not even the same as them folks? There's a reason why they want our organs on the black market, because as the progenitor race of people, meaning we being the first people here, our organs are a lot stronger than others. That's why they are. Look, let me tell you something. I don't care if you got the most stomped down, hardcore white supremacist it is. If they needed a heart transplant, they want a black person's heart if they can get it, or kidneys, because they know our organs are stronger and last longer than other groups. That's due to being the progenitor race. We have the strongest immune systems on the planet. This is why I give people hell. I see them hooked on drugs and alcohol, and they're using that to cope with things. I get it. It's stress for black folks in this country, but you can find other ways to deal with that. Let me tell y'all something. All melanated people, we are wonderfully made, okay? Do you understand how many biological advantages we have over the rest of them folks that come from us? Huh? Do you not understand that? Your body is a wonderful gift that a lot of people don't even really study that. But see, as a child coming up, this was my wheelhouse, okay? Nobody had to force this on me. I've been learning about this since I was a small child, okay? Biological science, the way our bodies function, et cetera, et cetera. So take care of your bodies out here, right? But we're going to let this conversation continue. I just want to take the time to put that on your mind. And look, don't believe what I say, put it to the test. Do some research on some things, because I just made that too simple with the point I just made. Let's get back to it.
I'm not knocking that because, as I said, I'm a political scientist, and a lot of my study has been focused around like world history.
Right.
So I guess I was just trying to pick your brain a little bit and kind of see where you're coming from with this. So I guess another question would be, so the FBAs are descendants of an indigenous population. Some of them are descendants of an indigenous Black population that was here already.
Mixed in with the African people who were brought over during the
Right,
well.
right,
That's
right. I'm not knocking that. But I'm just saying what they teach scientifically, what they're teaching in HBCUs, what they're teaching in PWIs is the out of Africa theory. It's the Pangea theory. It's the idea that all of humanity stems from Africa,
right.
right? And through hundreds of thousands and millions of years, we've migrated and we populated every corner of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
All of humanity comes from Africans,
Right.
right? So if you go and you look at the indigenous population of New Zealand, those are dark-skinned African folk. If you go and you look at the indigenous population of Brazil, those are African indigenous folk. 9 times out of 10, or a majority of the time, those folks have a large percentage of African DNA
Mm-hmm.
in their blood.
I agree they do have African DNA. But
So you're not wrong when you say that there were indigenous
slow
Africans or
down.
black folk
Let's slow down.
here in the Americans. We were everywhere.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down. Now,
Okay, sorry.
slow down, because you're making a point, but let's break this down. Now, you
Okay.
certain people in Fiji and in New Guinea or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
even though they have African DNA, why do they not call themselves African? That's the question.
Right. Correct.
Why? Why do you?
Right. Why do I think that they don't call themselves Africans?
Right? Mm-hmm.
Like the indigenous
Yeah,
populations?
of the people in Fiji who
Okay.
who come from Africa, and they know this. They acknowledge their African lineage. They told me,
Right. Correct.
but they
Correct.
themselves that. If
That's because when we spread out, right, as African people, when we spread out and we spread out across the globe to populate the globe, we created our own subcultures.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so a lot of people feel, I feel like a lot of people feel more of a connection to the subculture.
Okay, let me stop this rambling ass hat right here, okay? See, and I understand what my brother Tariq and she was doing, because I'm glad that he did this, because her ignorance needed to be on display. But I'm saying this to those of you, if you happen to engage people in these types of discussions, first and foremost, you must be well versed on our history and our lineage. So if you're not, because this is something that's important too, if you're not well versed, you don't need to engage in any debates until you do know what you're talking about. See, the thing about me and brothers like Tariq and everybody else, if you get to talking to us about that, oh man, we'll run circles around you. I mean, circles around you on your left and lap you several times easily. Okay. So now let me say this about what she's saying, because y'all know where I'm finna go if you've been a long time listening to my channel. Anytime somebody starts out an intellectual discussion and we discussing facts about history, about times, places, events, etc., things that can be actually verified, and they start talking about I feel, I shut that shit down. This ain't about your fucking feelings, okay? See, I don't play them kinds of games. And I'm not saying my brother Tariq was playing with it or whatever, but what I'm saying is, for all of you, if you hold discourse about anything on an intellectual level that requires what I'm talking about, you shut that down. You don't let people come into a conversation where you can look at things that can be verified and they get to talking about their feelings. Okay, so I'm saying that for you listening to me. Okay, because I understand what my brother was doing here and it was very well done. But for those of you that engage these people, let me tell you something. Anytime you talking about facts and things that can be verified and somebody start pulling their feelings out their ass, the debate is over with. Because for me, I'll be like, listen, let me tell you something. If we're not going to discuss what can be verified and you're going to keep talking about your feelings, I have no further conversation for you. You're not on my intellectual level. I refuse to let you waste my time, okay? So that's what I want you all in the audience to remember about debating people like that. Listen to the rest of what this jackass is about to say.
That they're a part of, rather than Africa.
Okay, and that's fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then why does it become a question when we do it? When we say, hey, we have a culture here because of our ethnogenesis, and we became a whole new ethnic group because we've been here just as long as some of these other groups have been on some of these islands. We've been here. So
Right.
why is
We've been here longer than some of them, actually.
it a question when we say, hey, we're not continental Africans? We're actually foundational Black Americans. We are the culture here. Why do you think many people have a problem with that?
But you've said that to be a foundational Black American does not necessarily mean that you're 100% indigenous to the Americas, right? A foundational Black America could be an African that came on the slave ships from Africa, can also be a foundational Black American, right? Or
Yeah,
no?
yeah, just like the Fijians, they came over from Africa, but now they don't look at themselves as African. They're Fijian. So, yeah, like you said,
So I guess my question would be, as a Black person, because I'm a Black person, why would you? Why?
Now let me pause this right here because I actually want to put this out here, and I'm saying this for me, okay? Because when I do my spaces, I run things a bit different. Let me tell everybody in here listen to the sound of my voice, because I'm gonna definitely have a couple of A spaces coming up. But this is one thing you better remember if you come into my space. If I'm talking, don't you ever cut me off when I'm speaking. That is a huge no-no in one of my spaces. I will shut that shit down. That shit is rude as hell. I don't like that. The way I run mine, I'll let you speak, but when I'm speaking, you be quiet. And I have the right to interject at any time as the host, because see, that's another thing I know that they'll come over my brother's spaces. Be talking about, you hit the mute button. You hit the mute button. It's the whole space. He can hit the mute button anytime he wants, him or the co-host of his space. When he has a co-host, very rare that he does. But see, here's the thing about that. I'm going to tell you another difference in how I run mine. I don't use no mute button. I check you one time, and if I have to address the shit again, I boot your ass up out the space. That's just how I run mine, okay? I don't tell nobody else how to run theirs, but that shit irks me, man. I don't like when men or women do that. And see, that's another thing. I don't allow the men to cut the women off, women to cut the men off. I get strict control of it. I'm going to tell you why. Because, see, let me address this too about when I hold X spaces, even though it's been a while. A lot of people don't like to come into mine and go, you so strict, your rules are too tight. And let me tell you why I do it that way. When Black people are discussing serious business, the playtime is over. If you have the intellect of a child in a fucking sandbox, that's where you go. Don't come into mine with that shit, because it won't last long. All that goofy trolling and all that. See, I'm like this. It's a sacred thing when any serious Black minds are gathered together online or offline. That's time to get some things done. That doesn't mean we can't have fun or crack a few jokes. But when it's time to handle business, all that other goofball shit, nope. So I'm just saying, I don't tolerate it. Just letting it be known. Don't ever try some of this shit that you hear in some of these other folks' spaces in mine. Let's let it continue.
Why would you want to not know where you originate, where you came from, where you do come from? Let's say
Slow down, stop.
you're
No, stop. We come
okay.
from here and Africa. We come from a couple of different places, just like
But the people that come from here, that are indigenous to here, even if they're indigenous to here, where did they come from? Is what I'm asking. So when we're calling Africans tethers and stuff, it's kind of taking away from it's kind of delusional in a sense, because all of humanity stems from Africa.
okay, slow down.
Okay.
People tethers because they're African. We call people tethers who come over here and try to undermine us. Let's be very clear on the words, ma'am.
But I just feel like that's a lot of rhetoric, because
Oh,
my husband is Nigerian.
Now, there she goes with that. I feel like. Let me say this respectfully to my sisters, okay? And I'm not picking on the women, because I think most of the women over here, you know better than that. But let me tell you something. When you're holding a discourse of this type, do not use that word. You need to be talking about what you think and what you know, not what you feel. That is not the time or place to say that. So I just want to point that out to any sisters that may be listening that isn't aware of that. Because feelings can't be verified, okay? I feel like, oh, I can't. And see, that's another thing I have no patience for. When a man does that, oh my God, don't do that around me. Because I'm going to stop them. I'm like, hey, brother, now tell me what you think. I don't need to know what you feel. So that's something look, I'm saying that to the sisters because you come across more intellectually strong when you don't use the word I feel. Okay? Put that shit up. And yes, to the brother, Red, White, and FBA, we know that's a troll. We're teaching over here, my good brother. Okay, so we got it. Everybody over here knows it's a troll. We're going over this for a reason. So you're not preaching to the choir, telling us nothing we didn't know. Okay, so just kick back and relax. We're going to continue to teach the lesson. But see, family, check this out. You heard what she just said. Oh, because my Nigerian husband, this, that, the third. Let me go ahead and break this out and say it now the way it need to be said. I don't care whether it's men or women of FBA lineage or non-FBA lineage. When it comes to our business, our lineage business, that is not contingent upon who you crack your ass open for or who you running up in. That ain't got nothing to do with that, okay? Let me say it again. When it comes to FBA lineage business, it ain't got nothing to do with who you crack your ass open for or who you running up in if you a man, okay? So that's something right there that we really gonna have to shut that down. What the fuck that got to do with your Nigerian husband? Because anything, we already know where this conversation going to go. A lot of y'all probably was in there. A lot of y'all probably heard it. If you didn't, just hold on to your hats because I'm finna let her get started and I'm gonna tear into this where I need to. Get back to it.
My husband was born in America. My husband looks like any other black guy. If my husband, when he goes out into the world, people don't view him as a Nigerian American. They view him as black. So I guess my question is,
matter.
okay,
He's not a foundational black American, man.
and that I don't think that matters because he.
Salute to the good brother Nightfall Job for the cash out. Thank you very much, my brother. But see, okay, so now you hear her going on rambling because, boy, she really going to get unhinged here in a little while. I don't think that matters. I don't think that matters. First and foremost, this is the thing, and I'm saying this respectfully. If you're not of FBA lineage, first of all, you're already out of pocket trying to argue with us about who we are as a people. But you don't get to call hands on anything regarding our culture or our lineage. You don't. You really don't. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is gonna roll some people the wrong way, but we got to talk truth to power over here. Here's the thing, man. Just like I just said, that they out of pocket and they are to tell the class, we have to take some responsibility for that too, as Foundation of Black American Freedom. I'm gonna tell you why. Because we've allowed that disrespectful shit to go on for so long. We have. And boy, a lot of y'all ain't gonna like what I'm saying. I rock with my brother Kendrick Lamar and I love him to life. But you got the Mexicans on that damn album saying the N-word. Now that shit I'm not fucking feeling. And that's a big problem out of that West Coast and New York. So like I said, the album is outstanding. I love the messaging that he's putting out in the album. But that letting the Mexicans say, cause see, it's an insult. There's no cool way for them to say that shit. See, again, that's something. This is why I tell a lot of people to keep their mouth out the South, cause we don't play that shit. You ain't gonna find no song that we got folks of other races on the song saying the N-word with us. Nah, that shit don't float down here. You got to start thinking about how that's a bad look. So that's the one thing that I don't care for. And see, I'm gonna get on that because I got a clip to play. Not here tonight, but soon I'm gonna go into detail about that whole thing because one of the little Mexicans gave an interview. I forget his name. I don't keep up with that rappers like that, but he said some smooth disrespectful shit. Okay, the blacks and all of that kind of shit. Don't worry, we're gonna touch on that. But see, that's something right there that's gonna have to be cleaned up. And see, the reason why it's such a big deal, let me tell you something. If you want to take power as a people, you can't be playing about cleaning shit up. You got to clean it all the way up. You don't sweep a little dirt in the corner and leave it over there. Clean the shit up. You going to clean your house, clean it all, okay? What's the point of half-ass cleaning your house? And this is our cultural house that we're dealing with here. So just know I got some thoughts about that. We're gonna break that down in future content to come. But as far as this heifer right here, oh, man, here she come, boy, because, you know, she's sitting up there. She's married to or laying up with a Nigerian or whatever, okay, and that's her business. But again, my point is, okay, so you saying that your husband, they going up that, well, people can't tell this, that, the third. No. We can tell who our people are, and then where she be trying to go is they all try to pull it, well, if a cop pull you over, they pull over somebody that's Nigerian, they can't tell the difference. Yeah, the fuck they can. Because we respond to them totally differently. Oh, yes, they can. They can tell, okay? Oh, trust me, they can tell. So I ain't trying to hear that. But see, I'm going to get further into this, but I'm going to let her roll out some of this nonsense that she was carrying on with here in this space before I get to it. Get back in.
He has his identity, and his identity is Nigerian.
Okay,
So
when I go to Nigeria, they don't look at me as a Nigerian. Why is that?
have you ever taken any DNA genealogy test?
And I have Nigerian, quote unquote, DNA. But when I go to,
Okay.
I'm not
What
looking at
percentage?
like,
Do you remember?
yes, ma'am. I've taken a DNA test. A lot of it is over in Nigeria, and they got some traces in other parts of Africa. But a lot of us, they say that our DNA goes over to Nigeria.
Okay.
But I'm not considered a Nigerian at all. Why
Well,
is
were you born there?
no?
Okay, so then you wouldn't. Then I guess I could.
Salute to the good brother Courtney G for the cash app. And see, here's the thing about the DNA test, all right? They can tell you what genetic percentages from somewhere by hitting certain markers, but those countries don't exist anymore. And even if you did, let's just say, okay, you took your DNA test, you found out that you X amount Nigerian, whatever. You can't run over there with that DNA test in hand and get citizenship in most countries. Now, in Senegal, I think you can. Back to business. Shout out to my good brother, Kellen Coleman, Kellen Cash. I think he has dual citizenship over there. So that's like the only country that I know of. There might be a few others, but for the most part, you can't go running over to no country saying, hey, no, it's Sierra Leone, my bad, not Senegal, Sierra Leone. You can't go running over there with a DNA test saying, hey, I'm part so-and-so, and they give you citizenship. No, that doesn't work that way with most countries. Sierra Leone is the only one that I know of. I don't think Senegal does it. I misspoke earlier, so that's Sierra Leone, all right? But here's what she's about to go off on this tirade at, just trying to Africanize people. And again, this is what we're saying is foundational Black American freedmen. We're the only group of people that they try to do that to. They don't ever jump over in Jamaican spaces, Haitian spaces, and try to Africanize them. You don't do it. And you're not going to do that bullshit to us either. Because, see, I'm going to tell you now, everybody's not going to be polite handling that shit. I'm done putting up with that kind of disrespect. Your asses are over here on our land, and you going to be respectful whether you want to or not. Now, if you don't want to, you got some options. You can get the fuck up out of here. Oh, the orange man gonna get that popping too. I mean, they running around trying to hide. Listen, y'all know me. I done told you. I'm even deputizing the Karens. Look, if you follow me on Edge, you probably was laughing at the tweet that I put out, but I was dead ass serious. Karens, let me say it now, live on air. Karens, now is your time to redeem yourself from the miserable creatures that you have been. Grandma Higginbotham, okay, over there in the Alabaster community, it's time for you to call eyes and call them twice if you want to be extra nice. Karens can find out anything. You need to take all that energy that you put on black folks and put it on these goddamn illegal aliens. All of them. The Karens can do it. This is their chance to be real American patriots. We got to have all hands on decks, okay? Karen, we owe you a foot in your ass for a lot of shit you did to our people. This is your chance to be useful. White folks, get them bitches on their job, okay? Yeah, and look, I've even got a Karen incentive program, okay? Because, see, this is to the white community. I rarely speak to y'all. I'm going to take the chance to speak to y'all tonight. In deputizing the Karens to get the illegal aliens out of here, let me tell you what you need to do. This is the chance to kill two birds with one stone. And I do mean this. You got your Karens that's always calling the manager on somebody. Then you got your incel community with their little dusty alabaster pink poles. Hey, listen, tell the Karens this, okay? Like, look, Karen, if you round up so many illegal aliens, we'll reward you with some good old pink alabaster incel dick, okay? Because they're raring to go. And look, incels, white incels, shut the fuck up. Because you ain't getting no pussy anyway. So some pussy is better than none. Now, it might have a few cobwebs on it, okay? And if you hit it wrong, she gonna call the manager. But hell, some is better than none. So get the incels together. Tell the Karen that, hey, they can finally get some more dick, since it's been a while, because that's why they're Karens. Most of the white men that they, are eligible in society don't want their asses. So hell, the incels will stop shooting up the school then. See, I'm a problem solver. Don't you just love it? Huh? White folks, you can thank me later for that. Let's let it continue.
And understand how some people wouldn't view you as in the tradition, like in the traditional sense of the word, as Nigerian. But
Exactly.
that doesn't take away from the fact that you are.
And
And as you said,
no,
you
no,
don't care what
no.
them folk think.
Oh, ma'am, no. And you just proved my point. I wasn't born there, so I'm not Nigerian. None of my family was born there in the last, what, 5, 6, 700 years. You understand? So, yeah,
Hmm.
we had an ethnogenesis, ma'am. We're a whole different ethnic group. I'm not a continental African.
So when you took your genealogy test, what percentage of your blood was indigenous American?
They have little traces, but they don't have real markers for the indigenous Americans like that because
So I guess my question is, if you were to go into the Cherokee Nation, I live in Colorado, not too far. If you were to go into Cherokee Nation and take a sample size of 5 Native Americans that are, we'll say modern Native Americans.
Let me pause this right here. I wasn't going to say it this early, but see, let me talk to my brothers out here. And I don't care whether you FBA or non-FBA. Let me talk to you. Ladies, pour some holy water in your ears because I can't be kind when I say this. I want you to listen to this chick with all this bitch babble, because that's what it is, it's bitch babble, that just keep going on about, what about this? What if that? What if this? What if that? See, and ladies, y'all pay attention too, because see, chicks that sound like this, let me put my young men up on some game. This is a bitch that runs her relationship. You hear me? Oh, first of all, you coming in a space trying to argue with a man that ain't your husband. You're already out of pocket, okay? Then when the brother's clearly trying to give you information and point out logic to you, you keep, well, what about this? What about that? That is a woman you do not deal with. That motherfucker is useless to a man that's got his shit together. Now, if you a low self-esteem having simp, go ahead and get with you a bitch like this. It's always talking out of turn and shit like that. I wasn't gonna say anything about that, but that just irked me, man. So just know, you better keep that in mind. I'm telling you, don't believe me. Go out and observe what I'm saying. Always talking about what about this, that, the third. Because see, let me tell you why that's a detriment to a man with his shit together. There are times where, as a man, if you on your job as protector and provider, there are times where you may need to issue instructions to your woman, and it can't be no argument. It could be life or death. Make sure a lot of you young ladies are listening to that. We said, bitch, hey, you better never mind that. You better pay attention to the lesson that I'm teaching you. There's going to be times where a man is instructing you, and it would behoove you not to argue. You better take that to heart. A hard-headed motherfucker like that, you can't do nothing with her. So if you got your shit together, you better heed no words. Now, if you are a little dusty, low self-esteem having simp, you don't mind having a chick running your relationship, by all means, disregard what I said. Let's let it continue.
Native Americans that we can see today. If we were to go and take their blood, do you think that their blood would show a large percentage of indigenous blood? And how would you
no,
explain that?
because you're gonna get Europe and Asian. Because
Okay.
the thing is, a lot of those Indian tribes, they didn't exist. A lot of these tribes were renamed by the European. The
Mhm.
Creeks, there's no such thing as really as a Creek. You don't have a genetic Creek tribe. The Europeans came and saw a bunch of Indians by
Mhm.
said, okay, you guys are Creeks. The Seminoles that they don't exist genetically. There were the Creeks mixed in with some black Aboriginal people and some black runaways, and they said, okay, you're Seminoles, which is an amalgamation of the word runaway.
Mhm.
So they don't have a lot of the genetic markers for those DNA tests. Those DNA tests are not very good at tracing direct lineage. It gives you very vague ideas of where people are from. And with black folks, they'll have our stuff all over Africa because people were very nomadic. Then they got some of my DNA up in Europe somewhere.
Mhm. That
Um,
makes sense.
so a lot of these DNA tests, they're really good for finding out whose baby daddy and child it is. That's what those DNA tests are really good for. You got to really get into the paperwork because the Native American tribes, to get some of the benefits, they don't go by they go by the genealogy. You got to find the paperwork and get all of that together.
Now, what Brother Tariq said is 1,000% correct. DNA test has the most use when you're dealing with immediate family, okay? mother, father, determining paternity. That's where it has the most use, solving crimes, etc., things of that nature. When you start trying to trace down specific family lineages, first of all, let's just say it was accurate where you could do that. Again, when you start going over there trying to find them people, man, and there's no paperwork, nothing documented where you can prove that this person is exactly a part of that family, you running around in circles, man. See, I know that breaks a lot of the Pan-Africanist hearts that have never been to Africa, by the way. That's the funniest thing in the world to me. People call themselves Pan-Africanists that have never been to an African country. Funny as hell, okay? But then again, the late, great, honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, he never actually stepped foot on the continent either, okay? If you know anything about that man was deported back to Jamaica, and then when he left there because they voted for a damn white man for governor of it, he went to the UK and he lived out the rest of his life there. He died there. Never went back home to Jamaica and never set foot on the continent of Africa. A lot of people don't know that, but that's true history. Don't believe me? Look it up. We're going to let this jackass continue, though, this jackass tether here, because, her husband is Nigerian, but I could tell by the way she keep babbling on. Because, see, this is how I know she's a tether, right? Only they come over to argue with us to try to make us something other than what we are and connect us somewhere where none of our families have been for 500 plus years. That's how I know she a tether. Most people of our lineage don't even try to do this. They don't. So when a lot of people talk about how you know it's a tether, because the way you act and several other factors. Let's let it continue.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fake $5 Indians, a lot of white people cosplay. You do it.
No, and I'm not knocking that. I totally agree with you. I believe that the people that we
Slow down, I'm still talking, dear. If you do a DNA test on some of these white people who claim to be native, you're going to find out they're from England, Italy, Germany, all of that stuff. But again, with your husband or your boyfriend or whatever, I think you kind of have the cape on for him. But we don't call people tethers just because they're African. We call them tethers if they try to undermine us, and that's very valid to do. Let me get Professor Allen in real quick. Let me get our brother to chime in. Professor Allen, sir.
Hey, what's going on, family? I just want to let you know, those of you that don't know, I'm a licensed social scientist. I'm licensed in Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, provisional New York, and Louisiana. Well, anyway, I study this for a living. I want to tell our young lady at Howard that I want to remind her of something she probably doesn't know, that academic canon, when I say canon, I mean official books, are created to support the official narrative. They're not created to seek out the truth. Graham Hancock has been proving that with his work. Well, anyway, what I'm trying to say is these books make up a narrative to take us away from our land-based identity. The foundational Black American land is the United States of America. We've been here the whole friggin' time. I'm from Alabama. My mom's people.
What are your sources? If
Why would
all
I give them
but
to
I'm
you?
saying if all the books that are written,
Wait on my book, and you.
And salute to the good brother, Professor Allen. That is a very brilliant brother. He actually is a professor, for those that don't know. A very, very, very well-spoken, very educated brother, okay? You're going to hear several well-educated brothers over here. But see, she kept talking about, what are your sources? What are your sources? And I like how everybody handled that. But I'm going to say this. The first source is our families. we don't need a book to tell us who our people are. See, a lot of these people, man, I got to go here. If your ass done sailed over here on a goddamn inner tube or a life raft or whatever kind of canoe you done fashioned together to flee away from your homeland, I get it. You didn't have a birth certificate. That's why you come over here with that January 1st birth date or whatever you did have. You said, fuck that in the hell no, and live it alone. That's not us. That's not us. Even if we didn't have paperwork, we know who our grandparents and great-grandparents were. We know that. They were out. Look, where my people in here of my lineage, you know, if you're a foundational Black American freedman, some of your grandparents and great-grandparents were your first babysitters. Come on now, because I know mine was. Huh? Oh, yeah. On both sides of the family, them was your first babysitters a lot of times. So they keep trying to put their existence where they're not connected to nothing and they don't know who their people are. but those of them that it applies to, they keep trying to force feed that to us. That is not our existence. We are not the same in that regard. We're not. See, I'm going to tell you another reason why I got to go here, because, see, I told you we got to get it all out tonight. You know the main reason why they get so offended when you be like, hey, man, where your family from? When you kind of tell you're dealing with each other, they get so offended because here's the real deal, family. If you were to just get in a room, because, see, this is something all foundational Black Americans do, with the exception of those of us that might have been adopted or whatever, okay, because you can't help that. Now, those like myself that grew up in the two-parent household, know my family on my mother's side and my father's side, we can sit here and just talk about our relatives going on back on both sides of the family. They can't do that. A lot of them don't even know who their fathers are. They got all these weird familiar situations, man, where dad got a family over here, a family over there, and ran all over here, and he done fled over to another country and can't find nobody. This part of the family don't like that part of the family, disowning them and all kinds of goofball shit. We ain't got all that going on. Even if we don't rock with some of our family members, we know who the fuck they are. We're like, yeah, I can't stand that cousin of mine over there, so-and-so. We know who they are, though, and we know how we're related to them. That's the difference. So it was just hilarious, but Professor Allen is going to get her ass together. Let's get back to it.
You can buy it. Wait on my book, and you can buy it.
What are your sources to claim that you are an indigenous American? What are your
Ma'am, I don't owe you any
No, it's
sources,
not.
and I didn't
You
interrupt
see,
you.
the problem that I have with a lot of these movements and these quote unquote
She's talking. She's caping.
I'm not
Can I
caping,
finish?
and that's the problem is
You are
you cannot have a
caping.
movement when you're sitting here and you're arguing with people who have differences in opinion. We can sit here as intellectuals and have discourse.
And you know what? Even before the brother, I got to point this out, even before the brother Professor Allen said that his people was from Alabama, I could tell that he was from Alabama. That accent, I was like, yeah, man, yeah. That would have, like, if he had not said that, I'd be like, man, you got some people from Alabama, brother. See, we know our people. Look, this is the thing that tellers don't get. They sit there and go around telling each other that lie about you don't know who you are. That kind of bullshit. No, we do. Because our culture is so unique. Even our accents from region to region, if we move around, we can tell where our people from. Like, yeah, man, you got that West Coast accent. You got that Midwest accent. You got that up north accent, down south accent. Okay, we can tell just by how we talk where our people are from. Now, we know who we are. We definitely do. That and many other things that we can tell our people apart outside of just how we talk, okay? In some instances, the way we dress, certain slang that we use, okay? A lot of things that we can tell our people, okay? So, you know, just because you believe that bullshit about us, that doesn't make it true. Let's let it continue.
But to sit here and try to negate everything I'm saying and to come here saying I'm caping for someone and you don't even know me just shows that you're ignorant. You are ignorant, 100% ignorant. I don't agree with 100% of the things.
Now, this is what I find hilarious. First of all, she's talking to an actual accredited professor, Professor Allen. And she gonna come in here trying to define somebody else's lineage and tell him he's ignorant? See, let's really put that into context, okay? Imagine if a group of foundational Black American freedmen went to any country you want to name, any of the 54 African nations, Jamaica, Haiti, wherever you want to pick. And we went there, a little handful of us, and started trying to tell them people who they are and who they're not on their land. Never mind that their culture that they have, oh no, that's not who you are. We just start talking like them, start trying to tell them who they're not. Because, you know, that's another thing. We don't cosplay as other people. You tellers ever notice that? You come over here telling us we don't know who we are, but every time we look up, your Burner Boys, your Tyler's, and all the rest of them, you copying our image and our culture. Now, why would you want to copy the image and culture of people that don't know who they are? Come on now. Make that shit make sense. I told you, I'm not the polite guy. I have a zero tolerance for stupidity and foolishness. You see how dumb that sound when I give you that analogy, though, about us going over to any of these people's countries and trying to define who they are as a people for them? The nerve of your asses. But see, the reason why they do that, they come over here and they get comfortable thinking that this is the white man land only because they're running the government. Our ancestors built this entire nation. There wouldn't be a United States without my ancestors building it. There just wouldn't be. There never was before that. All of these things that you can come over here and enjoy, you owe them to our ancestors. But see, I just found that very funny that she tried to use the term ignorant. Boy, talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Professor Allen is going to handle her ass, so let's let it continue.
What's the saying?
Listen, I don't
Unwitting
agree with
idiot.
100% of the things that you.
Go ahead, Professor.
But the difference between me
Yeah,
and you
man.
guys
Yeah.
is I'm intellectual enough to sit back. And I
You're
can
emotional, ma'am. I'm telling you, we've been here the whole time. You didn't listen to what Brother Tariq said. He said that these tribes, the Creeks, I'm from Alabama, and Alabama, there are tribes that look jet black, just like Gucci Mane, and
I'm saying,
they were
where can I go to
re-amalgamated.
find this information? You're telling me information that I can't go
You
and
can
research and
wait. You
find.
can wait. You can wait till I drop my next book coming up real
Do
soon,
you
and go
have
to the
one
back
already
and look at
out?
sources.
You're saying you're not.
I'm gonna have to check in with the brother Professor Allen, man, because I want to get some of his books. From my understanding, I think he's written other books. I got to get some of that brother's work added to my collection, man, because that's one thing y'all know I'm always on the hunt for is any books from anywhere that has good knowledge in it. I'm gonna have to reach out to that brother, man, and holler at him, man, so I can definitely make sure I know when that book is dropping. Got to add that to my collection. So let it continue.
Find it out then.
Which one do you have out now?
Follow me and Wani, and
Which
there's a
one do
book coming out. We have plenty of
So if
sources,
this
but
is
I'm
your
not just gonna give
movement
them to
and
you
this
yet.
is how you get people to push away from them,
Furthermore, I'm not
I'm just saying
at liberty to. I mean, what am I on trial?
no, you're not on
You
trial.
know
You
what I'm
feel like
saying?
you're on
Just wait
trial
on the
because
book,
you have to
ma'am.
present
And it's
facts.
just common sense.
You
You don't
feel
really need
like you're
scholarship
on
to understand
trial
that there were
because
people
you
walking
have
around
to
the United States of America
present
before the
facts.
Europeans came. I mean, let me give you a little piece. Look up Christopher Columbus's diary. Look up von Wudenau's book. I mean, it's
No,
overwhelming scholarship saying this, and to me, when you come up here.
And for those that don't know, if you're on my Patreon, and yes, I know how much that book costs, you can find that very book that he's talking about, Unexpected Faces in Ancient America, on my Patreon. Okay, if you're over there, a lot of you that's already joined, you can find access to everything over there and go through that for yourself and see just how far back our lineage on this land goes. Okay, because see, this Alexander von Wudenau, for those that don't know, that's a white man that was talking about that. Because see, they love to talk about, well, y'all just quote Ivan Van Sertima. We don't have to just quote black scholars and grandmaster teachers. There were white people like Constantine Raphaelis, like he just mentioned, Christopher Columbus's actual diaries that told the truth. See, that was before they realized that, hey, we can't be letting these people know how old and how long their ties go back to this land. Because see, you got to understand something about white supremacy. It's actually based off warfare, and as you know, warfare is deception. If you keep a people confused about who they actually are, it's easier to control them. You understand? Because they're in confusion. They're in a state of disarray. When you know who your particular family is, as far as their lineage, and going back beyond that to your ancestral lineage here, these people can't do a damn thing with you. Why do you think so many of us over in these new black media spaces that are very familiar with this history sound the way we sound? Because we know who we are, okay? We definitely know. Going back generations. Listen, let me tell y'all something, man. Now, I'm starting to get back to the 1600s with my family lineage on both sides now. And I'm going to keep going until I hit a brick wall and can't go no further, okay? Let me tell you something, man. Knowing who your family ties are, that is power. Let me say this also. The more that you find out about your past family, okay, and like your ancestral lineage, a lot starts to make sense about who you are as a person. Certain traits are passed down through the bloodline, certain attitudes. There will be certain things that you will find out that'll help you understand yourself. Like, you know what? That's where I get that from. You understand? You'll be surprised how look, if you hadn't started doing that yet, I strongly encourage you, whether you FBA or non-FBA, to start doing that. It'll really help you start to understand who you are and why you are the way you are, okay? And see, y'all know I've said this many times too. One of the things that you have to be very careful with, especially in our lineage, foundational Black American freedmen, you have to try to go out your way to find whatever it is that calms your spirit, because when we get angry, that's not just you. And y'all better pay attention to this if you've never heard me say this before. When you lose your temper and you in our lineage, you got to understand that that's not just your anger that you feeling at that moment. A lot of times that could be passed down through lineages. Let me explain what I mean by that. This is going to get deep for some of y'all that's never thought about this, because as blood contains memories, so does water, okay? You think about all the injustices that our people suffered that they didn't have the ability to do anything about right away. Case in point, you think about the foundational Black American man that had a family and he had to watch his wife and children being beaten in front of him. Or vice versa, the sister that had a husband that had to watch her husband being beaten and butt broken in front of her. Don't you know that that memory stays in the bloodline? See, this is why I don't play with them folks like that, and I don't allow them to play with me, because I know where that could go. Do you understand me? I know a lot of people like, man, you tripping. No. You better believe what I'm telling you. If you don't believe me, go talk to some of the elders in your family. Ask them about what I just said. You might be surprised at what you hear. Let's let it continue.
Here, being
But I'm
that sounds
saying you're saying
disingenuous,
things
and
that
no
can't be
offense to
backed
you,
up.
ma'am, but
You're
it may be
misinforming
Howard getting in
people.
you. You know what I'm
You're
saying? Because I know Dr.
misinforming
Carr
people
is
and
there, and
telling people
I have
you're,
respect for Dr.
you're
Carr, but some of his scholarship is skewed by Pan-Africanism. But on that, I digress.
There
I
you go.
am a
Thank you.
Pan-Africanist, and as a Pan-Africanist, the points that I make, I can back them up with not just books and textbooks, but with science, with research. You're saying
Slow
things.
down.
You're
Slow
saying.
down. Okay. Okay, now you're going to have a dialogue, ma'am. Now, do you believe, ma'am, that there were Black indigenous people on this land before Columbus?
I
Hmm? Ma'am?
I'm talking and my mic is muted. I'm so sorry. I was
Right.
saying, Mr. Nasheed, I'm not 100% sure, right? I'm not going to sit here and say and argue whether or not there were indigenous Americans here or whether or not there weren't. My thing is this. What are we as Black people, as FBA, as a Pan-Africanist, as whatever you want to align yourself with? What are we doing as a people to set ourselves up for the next few generations here? If you want to stay in America, you want to claim America as your own land, you're going to stay here and fight. What are your goals?
Okay,
What
slow
plans
down.
of action?
Now, see, they're going to really break down why she was doing this, and all of us caught this immediately, especially in any space. We catch when you tell us come here doing this, because you're talking like you've been sent. First and foremost, if you're not of our lineage, what you worrying about what we got to do for it and what we're going to do? The first thing you need to be concerned about is securing that for your family. That's what you need to take care of first. And actually, beyond that, getting together with those in your lineage to fix your homeland situation that you fled from. Because I've said it before, I can almost understand women and children fleeing a place because they are not the gatekeepers in the warrior class. But damn it, when the men up and leave with the women and don't ever go back, because I can understand if it's a bad situation. I wouldn't tell anybody to stay in a bad situation. We talking about dire threat to your life. But damn it, at some point, if enough of you have left and gone to particular places, look, let me just hypothetically say this. If I wasn't a foundational Black American freedman, okay, I'm FBA full-blooded on both sides of my family. If I wasn't, you know what I would be doing? If I was a Black man of another lineage, I would be getting together. I'd be like, hey, man, I would be the one that they'd be like, oh, he come with that talk again. I'd be like, hey, man, look, we got to get this money and these resources together. We got to go back home, bro. That's our birthright. This isn't where we were born. We got to take that back. Future generations of our children should be born at home where they belong. And it be optional if they go somewhere else, not because they have to. That would be the conversation that I would have until my dying breath. I couldn't just be like, well, I'm out of there now. I ain't never going back. And see, that's the other thing about that too. For the tether class in particular, I'm not talking about the non-FBA riders that are respectful. But for that disrespectful tether class, You can't simultaneously say you proud of where you from, but you don't ever want to go back there. How you proud of something you don't never want to go back to and ain't gonna go back to? Not even just to visit. You can't have it both ways. You go back to places that you're proud of, that your blood is tied to the land. So see, this is why I don't allow, especially the men, to even pop fly at the mouth at me no type of way. I'm like, nah, bro. Anytime I've ever left the country, I come back. This is my home. I be damned if a motherfucker run me off of my people's land. So we not the same. If you had to pack up and leave and you know you're not going back, be the fuck humble. You have nothing to say in the presence of a man like me that stand 10 toes down on his homeland. Let it continue.
Are you putting in place to act?
Okay. You gotta slow down. If you ask the question, let me answer the question, beloved.
Salute to the good brother Terry White for the cash out. Thank you very much, my brother.
If you ask a question, slow down. Don't get into these emotional diatribes, ma'am. Slow down. Let's breathe here. We're gonna answer.
You're absolutely right, and I guess that's just my passion seeping out.
All right.
But
We're not up on you. We're talking.
okay.
We're not a rush.
I
We
can
got
see you
time.
cursing people out left and right, calling people tethers. So I guess I came in here.
Now, see, that's another thing I don't like that this heifer tried to do, that little passive aggressive stuff, because Tariq didn't curse her out at all. He didn't curse her out. Didn't call her out her name at all. He did not do any of that. I don't like that. But see, here's another point that I want to point out, because there's multiple lessons that we're going to teach you tonight with this. Let me talk to my sisters again. Let me go ahead and say this. I know a lot of you are like, brother, boy, your language is so harsh. You say bitch, you say this, that, the third. And first of all, for those that don't know, I apply bitch to men and women, okay? Bitchcraft is not gender specific. It applies to both genders, okay? I speak of bitchcraft, the foul art of bitchcraft, I give it to both titles, okay? So it's not just reserved for women. And it's not just because I disagree with a woman that I will call you a bitch. Your behavior reflects that. That's what I'm going to give you, male or female. But I want to say this to the sisters. I'm saying this out of love. If you want to be effective at debating or just in general in life at making decisions, and this is something that is the responsibility of the men in your life to teach you if you have a significant other, okay? You must learn to channel that passion with logic. Passion or bias. Look, let me make it make sense. Passion, when it's not channeled in the right direction, the same thing, because passion is about feelings. It's just like electricity if it's not moving in like an extension cord or something. It's just everywhere, all over the place. It can be very dangerous when you do that, not only to other people, but to yourself. You put yourself at a disadvantage in any intellectual discussion when you lead with feelings and passion. Now, if you channel that passion with logic, because you can be passionate and still be logical. You understand? You definitely can. This is why I always put y'all up on books that I think you should read that will help you, especially if you're a woman, to learn to do that. And again, this isn't punching down on women, because I view you as a very important, very powerful part of our community. But you have to keep those emotions under control in order to actually access that power and maximize it to its full potential. When your emotions get out of control and you just go on a tirade like this woman, like, here, you are ineffective to anybody's movement. You're ineffective to any point you're trying to make, because it's all over the place with scatterbrained emotions and feelings. And see, the reason that I harp upon that so much with our women is, it's not because I hate you, it's because I actually do love you. And I'm trying to point out that that is a tactical weakness. You put yourself at a tactical disadvantage when you're scatterbrained all over the place with all these emotions and feelings. Try calming down, taking a breath, and getting your thoughts, key word, thoughts together, not your feelings. Okay? Please master that ability. Let's get back to it.
With the mindset of, I'm going to have to be.
Oh, no. Hold on. They deserve, the people I call tethers, 100% deserve to be called tethers. The Myron Gaines of the world, you damn right I call them a tether. I don't owe them no respect. When people come here disrespecting our lineage, we don't owe them anything, beloved.
Absolutely.
I'll put some sauce on top of that. Not only is Myron Gaines a tether, he's a shit-eating tether. Yes, he is. He's a shit-eater. Everybody down south know what a shit-eater is, a worthless mutt. A dog that ain't worth a damn at all. He ain't worth two dead flies put together. Little guns on those bastards. Oh, just wait till I do that broadcast on him, because It's been a minute since I went in on Myron, but when I go there, I just might have to do that one public. Because the reason why I'm debating about doing it on Patreon is some stuff that I'm gonna have to go ahead and pull out the closet on him. Okay, I'm gonna have to go ahead and go there. And now I ain't just talking about them strange, weird photos. I'm gonna have to deal with something else that a lot of people ain't really touching on about dude. Okay, I'm gonna have to go there and really shut this bullshit down because see, there's a way to deal with the Myron Gaines. Okay, oh there is, and look, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna contact a couple of people about that because you don't have to get your hands dirty and crash out, because he really ain't worth crashing out over. But there's a way to deal with him nonetheless. See, this is why I always try to teach y'all about how power actually works. There's an easy way to deal with him. A lot of y'all probably could catch on to it if you just listen to him talk long enough. Because see, when it comes to a lot of the men, they get so frustrated with what he say, okay, and we definitely need to check his ass when he get disrespecting our women especially, okay, especially if our lineage. But a lot of sisters, they'll listen to that bullshit he's saying. They just get all stirred up in their emotions. Trust me. What I'm talking about dealing with him, man, because he keep feeding the beast with it. It's so easy. It's just that nobody's thought to act on it yet. I got something for his monkey ass, though, and I ain't going to involve nothing illegal. Ain't nobody got to crash out. There's an easy way to get that problem, to basically make him take care of himself. I'll discuss that, though, in future dialogue. Let's get back to this, though.
I agree with you, Mr. Rashid, and Myron Gaines completely. He's COONED out.
Right.
He's cooped out.
Right.
And that's the thing. And I'm not saying that you don't need to hold people.
Salute to the good brother Latrabia Lawson for the cash out. Thank you very much, my brother.
People accountable. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is when you start throwing out these terms to other Black people, it can look a certain type of way. And
People
that can take
don't,
away from.
oh no, because some of these quote Black people will tell us they ain't really Black. Like again, Myron Gaines. Myron Gaines looks at himself as some type of dark Arab or dark Caucasian, and he denigrates Blackness every chance he gets. But then some of these people will circle back around and then try to claim Blackness when there's some type of benefit for them. So we get tired of people trying to cosplay.
To my good brother Kid Gravity Beyond in here, man. See, now that's an own code LPA brother right there. Very, very smart man. Yeah, I know you humble, brother, but he is very smart. That Jamaican brother right there, man, I've seen his channel. He break politics down from the A-road to the zero, like I say. Very, very wise man, okay? So salute to you. I gotta brag on you, brother. And to my good brother Dad Miller TV, yeah, man, it ain't worth crashing out over Myron. Because I actually give y'all a hint on how you deal with Myron. Now, some of y'all might say this is dirty pool, but hey, listen, when a fool gives you enough rope, hey, man, who are any of us to stop them from hanging themselves? I'll give you a hint. Small hats. That's it. From there, if you can't put two and two together with what I'm talking about, I don't know what to tell you. Let's let it continue.
Play with the culture. That's why we say the term foundational Black American to stop the cosplaying. Now,
I understand, and I understand.
go ahead, dear. Go ahead.
When you go and you call someone like Myron Gaines, whatever his name is, I don't even follow him, a tether, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're creating a narrative where it makes it seem like anybody who's of Sudanese descent or is not a FBA is a tether
No,
and thinks like him and acts like him, and that's 100% false. It's
no.
not true.
No, we've defined what a tether is. Now, if somebody wants to redefine it, that means that's a hit dog hollering. We've already said a tether is an action-based term because we want to differentiate the brothers and sisters who are riders from the diaspora from the ones who are not. And the ones who are not, those are the tether class. Now, if somebody gets offended by that, most likely they're a tether who has vitriol for us anyway. Now, let me get my sister Wani in here. I wanted Wani. Wani, where did you go? I didn't forget about you, Wani. Get back up here.
And see, you heard Brother Tariq break that down. That's what many of us have been saying for the longest. There's a distinction made between non-FBA people that are respectful, that aren't undermining us, versus that tether class. And see, let me take the chance to give some more game to especially younger brothers. All the older gentlemen in here, y'all should know this. But I want you to listen to how this health is just erratic and all over the place. This definitely applies to men and women alike, but I'm talking about her right now. Young brothers, your woman is a reflection of you when she's not in your presence. And see, let me tell you something. You run into any of my exes, whether it was serious or if it was casual, one thing that will set them apart from most women, they have learned from me to control them emotions. I teach the women that I deal with to be calm and as deadly as a serpent with your logic. I'll put you up on some game. One of the ways you can probably tell if it's a woman that I've been involved with, she ain't no chatty patty like that. They're very quiet. They're the ones that in a room full of women, yakety, yakety, yakety. She's the quiet one, listening, observing. Very astute on catching what people say and paying attention to detail, okay? Because, see, it's embarrassing and it's also very dangerous when your woman is just all over the place erratic like that. Because, see, it's not just in this conversation with Brother Tariq she's like that. She's like that in her day-to-day life. I understand it. I know she is. That is super dangerous in today's world. So, brothers, make sure that you planting more than dick in your woman. I'm saying it like that. It's after hours. I got to go here, okay? You have to train them on how to think rationally and calmly. Because, see, let me tell you why. This isn't my ego talking. I'm saying this out of love. So if any woman is getting offended, I plead with you to listen to what I'm saying. Reason why I'm saying that is, amongst most women that are always erratic and emotional, if you're the calm, cool, collected sister, yes, that's how you say it, calm, cool, and collected, not collective, okay? If you're the calm, cool, and collected sister, you're the one that will, chances are, be able to think out of situations that the rest of your peers will not. Because when something happens, they panicking. You be like, no, hold on. We're not going to get out of this way. We need to do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. Okay? That's the reason I'm pointing that out. So I know a lot of people are like, he's a chauvinist. No. A chauvinist doesn't tell you what I just said. A chauvinist actually just mock women and talk down to them. Nah, what I'm telling you, that's actually a life-saving skill for women. Okay? Master being the calm one out of the group of your friends, because, see, think about it. If you out somewhere and they all, paying attention to stuff, you might be the sister in the crowd, the one that fits the description of what I'm talking about. You might be the sister in the crowd. If y'all out somewhere enjoying a nice meal or at an event somewhere, you might be the one to say, hey, girl, ho. Why Brad over here in this hot-ass coat over here, man? Ain't nobody else got no coat on like that. We might need to move up out of here. You see what I'm saying? You might be the one to save the lives of your homegirls, okay? So I'm just giving some context to why I'm saying that. That is not a cute thing to just have your woman just all over the place emotionally like that. There are exercises that you can do as a couple to train each other to stay calm under fire, because that's an asset for both genders, but especially the sisters, okay? That's why I'm saying that. But, man, I'm going to tell you right now, she kind of caught a break. If Wani would have came up there, if y'all not familiar with my good sister Wani Spots, by the way, that is the first foundational Black American freedman woman, first woman, period, to travel to every single country on the planet. She actually has a book out about that, okay? Yes, our sister has made history. Very smart sister, very soft-spoken, but she will get your ass together if you get out of line. And she is very funny, too. A lot of times she don't think she funny like that. Let me tell y'all something, man. That sister Wani Spots, man, sometimes, man, she has a great sense of humor. She will have snot coming out your nose when she getting on them tethers, boy. Because, look, they start shit with the woman, and then when she get to cracking down on them, man, you shouldn't have said that about me. Listen, I'm finna throw something in the ether right now before we get back to this. And I hope that they hear this. I just might have to go ahead and reach out to them about it. Y'all know what I really want to see? That would be funny as hell. If the brother Red Joker, the sister Wani Spots, and my good brother over there, man, my Man Black TV, who is a very, very talented artist, very funny brother. If the three of them got together and did a project just clowning tethers, man, you thought they was crying about that Cheetah P comment that Tariq Nasheed made. Oh my God. You put the three of them together on anything where they clown it, man, dude. Especially Red Joker, man. That look, let me say something about that too. You tethers and you goofballs, man, leave that brother alone, man. That brother will have you in therapy, man, because I'm telling you, he is ultra petty. Them cartoons and stuff that he be making, man, y'all know what I'm talking about, Red Joker, man. That dude is a menace, bro. Shout out to Red Joker, man. But anyway, that I might have to reach out to him about that, man, because I would enjoy that. I would pay good money to see that. Let's let it continue.
Get on up here, Wani. We got to get our sister Wani back up here. I didn't forget about you, Wani. Wani, get on up here, beloved. Let's get Wani. Miss Wani, how are you, dear?
Hi, Tariq. How you doing?
I'm good.
I just wanted to.
Yes, and we must take a moment to acknowledge our sister Wani's very, very smooth and soft-spoken voice. Doesn't she sound like a little cute, cuddly Care Bear when she speaks? I know Wani gonna strangle me for this. Wani, you do. You have a very cute voice, okay? You do. You know that. I've told her that myself, okay? She know that. I love that sister's voice, man. Look, brothers, let me tell you something, man. A woman with a voice like that, you better be careful, boy, because if she can cook, you in trouble. Okay? Women with voices like that, man, oh, and don't let them have them little small, soft hands, man. See, ladies, there's certain things that I have to tell the brothers, make sure that, we stay on top of our game with y'all, because y'all got weapons that y'all can use against us, okay? Yeah, don't forget that. Young black men, okay? Women with voices like that, be careful. They can actually hypnotize us, okay? I've developed some special earplugs for that too, okay? Because see, we can't have y'all getting y'all way all the time with these little smooth, sensual voices that you have, like Sister Wani. Anyway, she about to give old girl the business though. Let's let it continue.
Tell the lady that there is genetic evidence for. You said you were interested in science, and science is not going to be on your side because there's two founding populations here in North America, possibly more. The other thing I wanted to say is that, are you aware that the Navajo came over here between 900 and 1500?
I'm not really concerned with the Navajo population because after
I
I took
am.
my,
Stop.
have
Stop
you
for a
taken a
minute. Stop.
genealogy test?
Stop.
Is that
Stop.
your
Stop
tribe?
yelling.
Girl, you
Stop
have to stop.
yelling.
You are black. You are
Stop
from Africa.
yelling.
You are
Oh my
black. You
God.
are from Africa. You can
Oh
try
my
to
God.
claim
I'm not
the
finished.
Native American
I'm not
traditions and the
claiming
Native
Navajo.
American
I'm trying to
culture as your
talk.
own,
I'm
but
trying to say
you're
a
literally
sentence.
okay. You're
I'm
Okay,
saying a sentence. May I complete my sentence?
Lord, go ahead, Wani.
Okay. So the Navajo came over here in 1500, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they came from Siberia. They came from Asia. And they're not called Asians or Siberians or Inuits.
so your main focus is on what
Stop.
you're being labeled.
Stop.
It's not on the actual system
Lord,
that we have in America. Your issue is what
ma'am.
You know what? I just thought of something, family. Okay, cause they finna go ahead and pack her on up, but I just thought of something. I figured out exactly what this chick's problem is. Okay, that why she's interrupting our sister Wani and brother Tariq. Y'all, I figured it out. Okay, we actually thought that this was a woman, but no, I know what she is. She's an ADHD gremlin. That's what she sounds like. That's what she sounds like. ADHD gremlin. Look, hey man, I these things pop in my head. I have to put it out there. Tell me what's the difference between her and an ADHD gremlin. Can't focus, just all over the place. Y'all remember I ain't talking about the original Gremlins movie, not the little cute cartoons, the original 80s movie Gremlin. Go watch that first one if you've never seen it, you're a young person. That's what she sounds like. Anytime a chick try to do this, that's what they remind me of, a damn ADHD gremlin. Just all over the place. You are African, you are African. Like, oh my God, man. Listen, okay. We gonna let them get back to it, man. Let's let it continue.
Damn, calm down.
Okay. And they have retained their Siberianness, their Asianness, and even their Inuitness, even some of their language. Black Americans have 5 to 6 continents in their genetics. a whole half a millennia of ethnogenesis. And you want us to identify as one thing when we're a new thing. Why are you doing that?
Facts.
I want you to identify with. I don't care what. This is the problem with FBA and ADOS. What are you guys doing?
And see, that's another thing too. We gonna shut that down every time you tell us try it. FBA and ADOS is not the same thing. I get why people want to try to keep running that together. Let me say it yet again, and we gonna keep saying it too. They keep trying it. We gonna keep making the distinction. ADOS is an organization per the words, okay? ADOS is an organization per the words of Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, okay? They said that. We didn't say that. Foundational Black American Freedmen is a lineage only. It's not a club. It ain't an application you can fill out. You have to be born into this lineage. One of your parents is a foundational Black American and you weren't born here. The only exception would be is if you were born on a military base and one of your parents was a foundational Black American, because your military base is still United States soil. This is why we keep telling people, even though Drake's father is FBA, if he wasn't born here, he's not. That go for any of them. You got to be born here, okay, or on United States soil, which would be a military base. That's the only other exception, okay? So that trying to conflate ADOS with Foundational Black American Freedmen is not the same thing. Again, I understand why people want to say that, but per Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, they have an organization. They say it's an organization and a lineage. That's what they say, okay? There's a difference. Let's let it continue.
Planning to do systemically to help Black people
What
here.
are
I
Africans
don't care what
1.3
does
billion
it
gonna
what does
do?
knowing
What is
okay,
raggedy
let me
ass
ask you this
Africa's
question.
1
What
billion
does
doing?
knowing
What is your husband's people doing?
can I ask you? My
Nothing.
husband's father has a
Nothing.
PhD in electrical
Nothing.
engineering and has 3 schools in Nigeria
Nothing.
and was the NEC director, chairman of
What is
electric.
1.3 billion Africans doing about it? Absolutely nothing. And we have
Preach.
nothing to do with them. We're doing our thing, and you
Facts.
can't do anything about it. Goodbye.
There you go. Thank you.
What have you done as a
That was hilarious the way one is. Goodbye. What are you wild for that, man? Man, shout out to our sister One Spots, man. I love that sister's life, man. Very, very smart, very brilliant. Soft spoken, but she don't play the radio, man, because the sister actually knows her stuff, okay? I think, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I think a lot of people test that sister because they hear how she talks and they figure, okay, this is somebody I'm finna push over. I'm like, boy, you just don't know who you dealing with, boy. Oh, but you'll learn, though. Oh, trust me, you'll learn. She don't need anybody's help either to roll you on up and make you look triple chocolate dip stupid, okay? She will handle you, all right? That was funny though. It's like goodbye. But see, here's the thing though. Let me comment on something that the tether wench here was talking about her Nigerian husband, all these accomplishments he got, this, that, the third. See, this is why a lot of them continue to fail. I'm asking anybody this question. I don't care what lineage you are. What good is it for a single individual or someone to brag about an individual's accomplishments if their people is in dire straits and they're not using that for the benefit of their people or to solve their people's problem, especially if you fled to a whole nother country? Again, and look, I'm not even saying this to pick on the tethers. I'm actually saying this hoping that some of them will actually catch what I'm saying and get to work doing it, because they're the only ones that can. If you had to leave here and come to another nation, it must start with the men, because that's who the women and children get their inspiration from, whether they like to admit it or not. The men must come together and say, hey, man, look, we came from Nigeria to get our money straight, whatever, but we going to get together wherever we are. We need to have an organization or whatever you're going to do. Get other people in your lineage together, put them tribal differences aside and say, listen, I don't care what tribe you from. You Yoruba, okay? I'm Igbo, whatever. We gonna get together as Nigerians and put our resources and our intellectual power together to figure out what we can do to go back and make our homeland, or at least parts of it, somewhere where our people don't have to be running all over the place and talking about having Joppa parties. That should be a shameful thing, man. You exiting your birthright and you know you're never going back there. See, that's what they need to be holding spaces about instead of jumping over here. But see, I want y'all to pay attention to something that I've always said. You know the reason why this woman is over here? Know the reason why she came over to that space? Again, what the men of any lineage do sets the tone for the women. If the men had their shit together, their women wouldn't be over in other people's spaces. Watch this. I'm going to show you how I'm right about this. Every woman in this chat room, I don't care what lineage you are, I'm finna ask you a question. I want you to sound off on this. It's going to be audience participation time, so get ready, okay? Y'all ready? About to ask this question of the women in the chat room, no matter your lineage. I'm going to show you how this pertains to what we're talking about here tonight. Ladies, right now, I'm finna hypothetically marry all of you off to very wealthy men, okay, to prove my point. I'm talking about every woman in here, no matter your lineage. I'm talking about you married to a multi-millionaire, let's just say a billionaire. The husband that you got, all right? Finna turn y'all husbands, whether you're married or not, that's what your husband is for this analogy. Let me ask the question. If that's the case, would any of you women in here be worried about anything outside of your personal situation or be running trying to tell somebody else what to do if your man got it like that to the point that he's providing for all your wants and needs? Answer that question for me in the chat room. I'm going to wait. Because, see, I know women. When women are taken care of, they don't give two shits about anything outside of their situation. Good, bad, and different. You can say what you want. Most women, if their needs and wants are taken care of, they be like, back to business. I got to go ahead and tell the truth. No matter what lineage of woman it is, most women, if they do actually act like they give a fuck about your situation, it's going to be to condescendingly mock you like, oh, girl, that's fucked up. Well, what you gonna do about that? Come on now. Yeah, a lot of y'all ain't gonna admit that. I know you. Oh, I know you. See, most of the women in here like, man, I wouldn't give a damn what you got going on. My situation good. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to go there, ladies, to point that point out, because if the men of any lineage is on their shit, they women are not running around in other people's business like that. Even the unruly ones, okay? They're like, okay, that's them folks over there. They ain't got shit to do with us. Huh? See, this is why I say as men, we always must focus on making sure our house is in order. That sets the tone for the entire lineage, okay? Let it continue.
FBA or Cherokee.
And if I may add, Brother Tariq.
What have you done to fix the systemic issues that we face as Black people, whether...
Go ahead, Professor Allen. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'm just going to go quickly. If I may add, what our sister Wani just pointed out is that's the intention. The intention is to use us and deny us our land-based identity because they're gaining something from using us. So what we're doing is reclaiming our land-based identity, which is foundational Black American, so we can grow together and pool resources together and stop being parasited on by outside groups.
You're
on that
12% of the entire American population. There's 100 million white people in America.
Oh boy, so now here's where I got to come in at y'all. Know I got to get this tetherwitch for this. Now she claims to be a graduate of Howard University. This is embarrassing. I got to go here. That whole, we're only 12 and 13% of the population. That is mathematically impossible. There is no group of people anywhere on the planet that stays a particular percentage for decades on end. Either the population goes up or it goes down. There's no way you can just be 12 or 13%. Over decades of time, all them babies being born, even if you factor in the abortion factor, that still would not leave us at no 12 and 13%. I'm going to give you some more facts on why that's mathematically impossible. And you got to be a whole fool and a half if you believe that shit. Family, watch this. Let's talk demographics in this country. The Native Americans, so-called Native Americans, most of them are $5 pretendians, white folks, okay? Then you have like Asian Americans. You have the Jewish community, which are still white folks, okay? Family, why do you think that the Democrats in particular spend all that time, energy, and resources on trying to advertise to black people if we was really that small of a percentage? You think about that. That lets you know. See, yeah, I'm making you think now, huh? You don't spend large amounts of money trying to get black people convinced to vote for you if they're so insignificant. You better look at this past election and understand what happened even when a small portion of us decide to sit it out or vote the other side or third party or write in whatever candidate you're going to write in. You better look at this last election. That's why they're concerned about what we do. See, if we was really that insignificant amount of people, that's not enough to sway any damn thing. You understand? See, math does not lie. Math don't give a damn about none of our feelings, okay? And the reason why I always bring that point up when I hear that, a lot of our people don't really stop to think. And see, here's the thing. In this society where we're at, thanks to the American public food system, that's what I call it. And then on top of that, if you're a black person, the way we've been conditioned to think less than of ourselves, you better understand that that is a valuable tactic to white supremacy. It is convincing us that our numbers are just so small. You understand the psychological effect of that, why they keep using that decades on end? But see, when you have the rebellious slave like myself that comes from that lineage that says, hey, wait a minute, I've learned how to do a bit of math over the generations and this ain't adding up. That is mathematically impossible. Hey, wait a minute now. Hey, they don't like that, huh? Let alone when you take the rebellious slave and he starts speaking to others of you like I am on this platform and making the rest of you say, you know what? I don't really like that nigga. I don't believe in everything he's saying, but he got a point there, damn it. That's what they don't want. You understand? I always exercise your ability to think. It's not illegal yet, but they're working on it. Let's let it continue.
America. There's only 40 million black people in America. And if you really want to go by FBA and lineage, that's an even smaller percentage of black people. So you want me to think that as an FBA or ADOS, you're going to go up there and make some real systemic change for black people?
Now, slow down. Now, for the record, ADOS and FBA is not the same. Let me help you out because you keep throwing ADOS. ADOS is an LGBT-run organization with a couple of leaders. ADOS is a group, a self-proclaimed group. Foundational Black Americans is not a group. FBA ADOS is not the same whatsoever. There is no leader of Foundational Black Americans. It's just a term for Black Americans who don't have immigrant backgrounds. So let's just be clear on that. ADOS has a chopper suit wearing stud as the leader and Tone Tits as the co-leader. So that's not the same thing. So let's get these terms together. And I think
I got to pause it right here, man. Family, I'm about to be real petty. How many of you over here, and I'm asking this for a reason because I'm going to give you something that's going to make you laugh. If you hadn't laughed all week, you're going to laugh when you go and see this because y'all know that my YouTube short section, if you hadn't laughed at all, go to my YouTube short section. But how many of you familiar with my shorts over there, okay? Go down in my YouTube shorts and you're going to know the one I'm talking about. I have a short dedicated to Strappy, okay, a.k.a. Yvette Cornell. When you see that, you're going to laugh your ass off. Some of y'all already seen it. Just look, take your time and go down there. When y'all see that, y'all gonna be like, oh, man, why you do that, bruh? Why you do that? Listen, man, I told y'all. My shorts have actually toned down a little bit. I mean, I know y'all saw the recently my recent spin on Commandment and that drink, okay? The latest short that I got, oh, boy, that thing took off, boy. Like, I mean, look, I try not to put a lot of them up because y'all know I was going ham with that back in the day. But see, I know that the way I put things together, a lot of people ain't gonna think about it like that, okay? And especially with the music selection that I put behind it, I'm like, yeah, man. Listen, after this broadcast is over, or while it's going on, go down there and look at my YouTube shorts until you find the one with Strappy on there, okay? Yeah, look, I'm gonna give you a hint. Clippers, that's all I'm gonna say. Let's let it continue.
you might low-key know that. And you keep saying, what are we going to do? We're 43 million people. We can do what the hell we want to do.
So what are your plans? You're a movement, right? You're sitting here as a movement and you're focused on...
Okay, my plan as a Foundational Black American, I'm in Houston. I'm getting some turkey legs tomorrow. That's my plan.
So you're an
But
individualist. You're
I'm going
not
to
really for the community.
because I'm going to go to a black-owned business to get those turkey legs. We're just going to live our lives and enjoy our lineage.
So you have no plan, basically.
No, no, no. We're going to do more than your husband's family. We're not going to flee. That's what we're not going to do. We don't plan to flee.
Y'all know what she kind of remind me of? Why she keeps saying, well, what's your plan? What's your plan? What's your plan? Now, I got to break out the voice for this. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is your old pal, the snake. You know, the one that you brought in by your fire. I bet you. Now, she sounds like a snake because she's constantly trying to find out what your plans are. Tell me, what's your plan? What's your plan? What is your plan? You can tell me. If you can't trust anybody, you can trust your pal, the snake. I'm a tether snake. I just need you to tell me your plans. That's what I was sent here. That's what I crawled over here for. Okay? So just tell me your plans. I'm getting agitated. Tell me your plans. Oh, please tell me. That's what she sound like. That damn snake, man. I'm just saying, I had to pull the snake voice out because that's what the bitch sound like, man. Let's let it continue.
Like his family did. See, we're the only lineage group who
Yeah,
we
keep
got
up with me.
to tell people what we gonna do every day, where we gonna go, what y'all gonna do. Ask your husband's family what they're gonna do.
No, I'm
But
asking you because you're positioning yourself as a leader of a group. So I'm
no, I'm
asking you, Miss.
not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I am not a leader of anything. See, I am not a
I'm
leader.
asking you. I'm holding you accountable, black man.
No,
You see, my brother Tariq Carter, she tried to do what all the tethers do. She tried to turn him into the leader of a group. She didn't think anybody caught it, but he did. Salute to my Lieutenant Tam Chan. I see you in here, my dear. I see you. A serpent sees everything. That's what this tether winch on Brother Tariq's face sounds like. That she's trying to find out plans and calling people leaders of imaginary groups. We're gonna let it continue, ladies and gentlemen. And listen. I know many of you have enjoyed your Thanksgiving holidays, but I've got cousins and relatives that might be outside in the cold. So remember, if you bring them into your house by your fire, they won't bite you. If you can't trust a fork-tongued snake, who can you trust? Let's get back to it.
doing the same thing that a lot of these celebrities.
oh, ma'am, I am not the leader of anything. You're not going to tell lies. I've never claimed to be a leader. You cannot be the leader of a lineage. It is impossible.
I never.
You said I'm positioning myself to be a leader. No, I am not. How can you be a leader of a lineage? Who's the leader of the Puerto Ricans?
You're positioning yourself
No, I'm
to
not.
be one of the leaders of the FBA movement. You
Ma'am,
are influential. Right now, you have 1.5 thousand people listening to our conversation. So now that you have that many people tuned in, FBA guy, what are your plans? What are your goals? What is your agenda for these FBA people? If it's not for Black America.
What are your plans? What are your goals? What's your agenda? Come on, you can tell me.
43 million foundational Black Americans. They can think for themselves. 43 million foundational Black Americans are not dumb. They don't need me to lead them. We've been around building this nation for years. They don't need me to tell them what to do.
Okay, so I get so your role is to serve as a puppet, right? To get people riled up, to call people tethers and further.
Okay, ma'am, you keep getting offended because your husband must be a tether. He must act like a tether because you're very offended. And also, where's your family from, beloved?
There's the question right there. Oh boy, look, let me tell you something. That question right there, when we started asking that question, man, where's your family from? A simple question. See, this is the main way that you know that most of these people are tethers Because if you ask any foundational Black American freedman in here or any non-FBA person that's proud of their lineage, we just tell you where we're from. Yeah, we just tell you. That's not offensive to us. We're proud of where we're from. But when you have people that are not proud of where they're from, that's a curse. And see, let me tell you why. Unfortunately, that tilde class that has such disdain from their home and for their home, and they like to pretend like they're proud of it, that traumatizes them when you have to ask them to think about where they're actually from. I got to go there, and that's very sad. I really don't say that with any type of joy. I really don't. I would like for everybody to be proud of where you from. Even if you come from a country that's going through bad times or rough times or what have you, that's your birthright, man. How you not proud of where you from, man? Everybody should be. You should be. But see, with them, I'm going to tell you why, too. Because, see, it's not just about them leaving bad situations for those of them that applies to. A lot of them leave and they jump over here and they want to get up under the first white man or woman they can find and try hard as hell, no matter how dark they are, to blend in white society. This is why you see, I got to go here. See, I know I'm going to hurt some feelings. This is why when you go on TikTok, you see most of that tilde class just making a stone cold stupid ass out themselves. Like that big groove that was running around calling themselves the grooving gorilla. Look, they don't know how to be witty and funny without making an ass out of themselves because they know white people gonna laugh at that dumb shit. Now, sure, you can say, well, they getting a bag, but all money ain't good money. If you got, see, let me go here with that whole in the modern era of just making an ass out yourself online for money. If your sons and daughters can't be proud of what you do without their peers picking on them or they getting disrespectful comments, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Huh? I got to go there. This is why a lot of times you can look on X and other things, you see them, they be way over on the other side of the world and they steady trying to use white people's jargon and their vernacular like the word cunt and all this other stuff. Things that Black folks don't do. That's another way we can tell y'all apart from us. Y'all emulate and mimic them white folks slang. Most Black people don't talk with white folks slang like that, okay? Running around using the Pepe the Frog meaning. And look, you got two types of tethers that do that, what that Pepe the Frog mean. You got some that know what it means and they trying to blend in with the anti-Black racists. And then you got some that's too stupid to even understand it. When they use that, they talking about you too, okay? They don't get it. But see, that's another thing about being a tether when you jump over here in somebody else's homeland and you think you have an understanding of stuff and you don't. You end up being the butt of the joke because, see, the white supremacists are the ones that really have the most disdain for you. They'll use you if they can, but man, look, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But see, y'all brace yourself. She's about to lose it now because when you throw that question on them, that's like dashing holy water on a vampire, boy. She about to let it all hang out. Now, let's let it continue.
Where's your family from? Because you seem unusually offended. Where's your family from?
I'm offended. If you would let me talk and stop muting me, I will tell you why I'm offended. I'm offended as an
Wait,
educated Black.
no, beloved.
You keep cutting me off. I'm offended. This is what you do to people who have different.
Ma'am, where is your family from?
Here, America. I'm Black.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Where in America is your family from?
New York.
Uh-oh.
What? Now there's something wrong with New York Black, so you could further discredit me so that the message that I have for Black people can't get through. Listen, Black America, you have people like Tariq Nasheed. You have...
No, don't try to talk fast.
No, you have people like the Joe Buddens. You have...
I done told y'all when...
Now, I'm going to tell y'all how I know that this is a tether. Because she just told Tariq that her family's from New York. But now, if you play this back on this very broadcast and on the original over there on Brother Tariq's channel, remember early in the conversation, she said that she's in Colorado right now? See, I'm going to tell you something. I know that she's a tether because that's how most of them do. They'll be one place, then they'll move way over to somewhere other place. Most of us don't do that, man, unless we got family that we going to visit. We don't be like in one place, then just move clear across over to somewhere where we don't know nobody, ain't got no relatives or none of that. Huh? That's how I know she a tether. They move like it. And see, here's another thing too. I'm just gonna let y'all, a couple of y'all tethers in tether class know how we can tell you apart. Especially when you come over here, and I see this a lot. I got to say it. A lot of the continental Africans, they come over here and they try to move to the whitest place they can find. And little do they know, you moving yourself right behind enemy lines. You want to go run to places like Utah and Washington State and places like that. I'm like, all right, fool. You going up there where ain't no backup for your black ass at. None. Period. That's another way, because look, they read and they have in their mind what they think America is one way, instead of going by the old adage, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Let me tell you something. Any country I've ever been to in my lifetime, I don't never go in there thinking I know more than the people. I don't care how much research I do. I don't care how many times I've been. Okay, as familiar as I am with certain places, I can go down. I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with this, I'm familiar with that. I understand the language. I know the currency. I still don't think I know more than the natives of that place, okay? And I tell this to people in our lineage, even if you go from state to state or city to city. Don't ever think you know more than the people that are the natives of a place. I'm always, if they tell me, hey man, don't go over there at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever whoop the whoop going on. You think I'm finna argue with them? Hell no. They know this place better than me. I'm over in their homeland. All right, bet. Good looking out. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. That's how I do it. And I would advise anybody else to do the same thing. Let's let it continue.
You ask where their family from, and they say New York. Y'all know what that means, ma'am.
They sit here and play in your face.
Ma'am, where was your family before they were in New York?
They sit here in your face and they collect
Where
their coin.
was your family from before they were in New York, beloved?
And they pretend like they have an agenda.
She's a tether, ladies and gentlemen.
And they pretend like they have an agenda for you.
She's a tether, ladies and gentlemen. That's why she's so offended by tether, because she is one. She's a
call
tether.
me whatever he wants to call.
Ma'am, that's why these tethers are always trying to convince us that this ain't our land. This is tethering 101, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're talking about.
He has no education.
Yet, ma'am, you are from a tether background your damn self. And you have this passive-aggressive vitriol towards foundational Black Americans trying to tell us that we're foreigners like you. And we're not.
Whatever you want to call it, I have anger towards people like you.
You come from a foreign background. We don't.
You're a puppet. You do nothing for.
You come from a foreign background. You and your husband.
Puppet. You are a puppet.
Ma'am, now you're trying to crash out. This is tethering.
Puppet. You are a puppet. You.
That's why Professor Allen got very curt with her and like, I ain't got to tell you nothing, because he saw this little passive aggressive shit she was trying to pull. See, I want y'all to understand, you can kind of smell the little microaggression when they come in. Well, can you cite your sources? You know, I ain't got to cite nothing. Oh, I'm just trying to have a conversation. No, he saw your little microaggressions. He saw it early and didn't fall into it. And I'm glad that's how we got to handle these tethers like that with their microaggressions. They're not trying to get no information. They're not trying to have a good faith dialogue. They're trying to be antagonistic.
He's 1,000% correct, because they already know everything that they ask when they come over here in these types of spaces. They do. You can tell, because see, again, if you have no, look, there's a difference, and everybody in this chat room can bear me witness to this. When somebody has no knowledge of something, there's a difference between that person trying to actually get that knowledge and find out about it versus somebody that's just asking questions in bad faith. Big difference. Big, huge difference. A person that's trying to get genuine knowledge about something that they're not well versed in, they're very humble. They're very polite. They're not cutting you off when you speak, and I'm going to tell you why. Because anytime that I've ever inquired, especially of our elders, about something that I don't know about, I ask that question, and then when they're talking, I'm silent. I'm not cutting them off. You know why? Because I'm trying to find out what they know. If I don't know it, I need to be quiet when they're explaining the answer to me. That's how I know that she already had all the answers that she talking about she came in here to get. That's how I know. A person that's truly seeking knowledge and trying to actually get understanding, they do more listening than they do talking. Let's let it continue.
Which is what she's trying to do. This woman comes from a tether background, ladies and gentlemen. That's why she's up here trying to take us away
He's
from
a
our
puppet. He's placed there by white America to divide black America. He's a puppet.
ma'am. Divide. You got to be together before you get divided. A
Wake
puppet of who?
up. Wake up, black
A,
America.
ma'am, a puppet of who?
Wake up. He
Who?
has no agenda. He has
Ma'am, other than fleeing, what is your agenda,
no
beloved?
agenda. No, you're the one.
Ma'am, you and your husband, y'all the peaches and herb of fleeing. All right, reunited, and it feels so good. Fleeing your ass to another neighborhood.
Oh, that was funny. Oh man, Peaches and Herb flee. I would have said Flee United and it feels so good. Yeah, I would have threw that in there. Flee United and it feels. Let me stop because I've been took that somewhere where it don't need to go. That y'all don't encourage me. But man, listen, these people come over here, man. Look, let me tell y'all something, man. Especially Brother Tariq. A lot of times after he finished debunking you and ain't really nothing else to say, he finna start clowning you. And if you ain't got your joke game together, that's not somewhere you want to go, okay? There's a couple people, look, Red Joker is another one. Now, he just gonna clown you just for the hell of it, okay? Very smart brother, but he'll clown you just for the hell of it. There's a couple people that I can name that's over here in these spaces, and you know how y'all cry for days when we really start getting the better of you. Y'all remember the Cheetah P comment? Listen, man, let me tell you something. They really, some of their own folks had to just come around and be like, yeah, man, that was fucked up, but it was funny. It was funny. I mean, look, when something is funny, it's funny. My point is this. Why do y'all come over here and start trying to start things with us? And you know if we get to roasting you, you're going to cry about it for years and be traumatized. Still talking about names people called you in your childhood and stuff like that. When ain't no adult said it to you today. So that's another thing too, man. I'm just like, listen, man, if you want to come over here and hang with us, you better have your joke game together. I mean, look, let me tell y'all something, man. The only reason you don't really see me going back and forth with the tethers as far as like roasting them is because I know how I get, man. I'll be done went somewhere. Look, I don't do the Michelle Obama when they go high or when they go low, we go high. Oh, no. I break it down and go under the floorboards with the shit. I'll be like, to the point where, man, look, let me tell you something, man. I refrain from getting rose battles with them because I know where I go. Y'all see what I do over here, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Go in my YouTube short section and just find the short with strap in there. And again, look for clippers. That's only a hint I'm going to give you about it. Look at that short. Look at most of them on your way down. And you will see, especially the ones that I put together myself, you're going to be like, oh, nah, dude. Now, you just imagine what type of mind that come from. So, you know, I'm just saying, y'all tell this man, roasting is a part of foundational Black American freedmen culture. Okay? And most non-FBA brothers and sisters, if you good at roasting, chances are you got that from us, hanging around us, playing the dozens, okay? I mean, look, that's just something we do, but a lot of them, boy, they super sensitive when it comes to that. Let's let it continue.
That's clean. That's clean. You are a
You
fleeing
are a
couple.
puppet, and you are a puppet. You truly do not even believe the misinformation that
Stop it. And you go to
you
Howard.
are a puppet.
Howard has become tether central. Let's keep it a bean.
You and what school did you graduate?
Howard, none.
And what
None.
school did you graduate?
I am a high school dropout, beloved.
Exactly.
I did not even
And you're
graduate high school. And I have more influence and respect worldwide than you and your flea and tether husband, man.
exactly a high school.
Yep. And that shows.
Now, see, this is the part right here where she made herself look extra stupid. Because, see, let's go here with what Brother Tariq just said. You heard him. The brother said he's a high school dropout, but let's look at everything that he's accomplished since then. See, understand something. Nobody's saying that you shouldn't finish school or what have you. Nobody's encouraging that. But there are some people, men and women, that they don't drop out of school because they can't hack it or can't cut it. Sometimes they're actually smart enough to have already figured out what path they want to go in life. And they make use of their talents and see, here's the thing. she can't really try to get at him about that because this brother is an award-winning documentary film producer, best-selling author, musician. Okay, look, we'd be here all night if I start running down this brother's acumen, accolades, and his talent, okay? And on top of that, I hate to pocket watch because I never pocket watch somebody, but that brother's a multi-millionaire. So if you run around to me, see, you didn't drive out, you driving out of high school. If she thought that was a flex, I'm like, dumb, think about what you saying. The whole goal of graduating school or college is to set yourself up to be financially stable so that you can take care of yourself and a family. That brother family don't want for nothing. Huh? And he's still out here doing things in the interest of our people. So I'm saying this for this reason. Because this goes far beyond just her. I want to make sure I'm clear on what I'm saying. Sometimes when you start going at somebody and you didn't really think that out, sometimes you got to know to quit when you're ahead because you make a fool out yourself. Give you another analogy about this similar situation. If you go back a couple of broadcasts on this channel, you remember I showed you where Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was actually trying to question the incoming Homeland Security and Border Czar Secretary Tom Homan, right? You remember how he kept making a fool out of her when she thought she was just going in? Oh boy, she probably had her little talking points. That stuff probably sounded good in her head because she ain't got but like two little beans in her head to rattle together, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. But when he started breaking her down and making her look like a fool, are you talking about deporting families? You're like, well, listen, if I commit a crime and I got a child, they're going to separate me from my family. And he was telling the truth. Remember how them little buck teeth of hers was just hanging all over her mouth? Oh, I wasn't prepared for that. I don't know how in the hell she made it to Congress anyway. So my point is this. Sometimes, man, this is why I also say that humility is actually a protection and it's actually a strength. Humility is not a weakness, it's a strength. Humility protects you from making a fool out yourself because there'll be that little voice in your head like, okay, let me quit while I'm ahead. I wasn't prepared for this. Sometimes it's better to bow out gracefully, but see this babbling moron right here, this tether winch that he's talking to? Oh no, she gonna keep it going. Don't believe me? Oh, just listen. Let's get back to it.
Shows how that FBA Majara spirit lineage, how strong and
not a scholar as a voice for the.
No, I am not. I'm an everyday man, ladies and gentlemen. I don't sit up here trying to floss degrees and all that, which is nothing wrong with that. We have our illustrious scholar, Professor Allen, right here in the room. I have no problem with that. We got our scholar warriors out here that I love and respect. I don't even try to pretend. I am a high school dropout, became a gangster hustler back in the day, and now I speak truth to power, and people respect what I have to say, and I'm not nobody's leader, and I keep it a bean, ma'am, and I'm not fleeing.
Exactly. Black people, producers, and people with no high school education cannot speak on our issue.
Ma'am,
first of all, there's no our issue because you're not of our lineage. But see, here's the thing. And see, here's another lesson I want to teach in conjunction with everything I just said here tonight. I've often told y'all for years on this channel that arrogance and jealousy are not strengths, they're weaknesses. You got so many people, too many to name, that every time they coming over at Brother Tariq, because one, it starts from a place of envy. They don't like that the brother has the respect and the influence that he has. Because, see, here's the thing. A lot of them are not willing to put in the work that this man has over 20 plus years, him and others. They're not willing to put in the work that they have over the years, but they're jealous of the respect that he commands amongst our people and people internationally. And then if they call themselves trying to do what he does, nobody gives a damn about what they got to say because, as I've taught y'all for years, respect is a currency that gets you in doors that money cannot. You understand? That's one of the three components of power. I kept telling y'all this, okay? From least to greatest, money, respect, and information. That's the three components of power. Now, why do I put money as the least? Because money comes and goes, but you have to have information and respect to maintain and procure more of the third one, which is money. If you don't have the proper information, you're not going to be able to make money and maintain it. If you don't have the proper information, you're not going to garner respect amongst people. If you don't give accurate information that people can use, you're not going to garner the respect of the people. Brother Tariq has a solid track record of that, whether you agree with everything he said or not, whether you like him, good, bad, or indifferent. That track record is there. Him and others, the track record is there, okay? You can question or critique anybody you want, but that jealousy isn't going to get you where another person has. And that goes for anybody that has a track record built up and has garnered respect from the people. So talking about we and who can't speak on what, ma'am, I beg to differ, because whether you count the rallies that were had in D.C., the expo in Texas, all the different events this brother done put together and a big turnout, people want to hear what the brother has to say. And as you keep hearing him say, he ain't really asking nobody to follow him like that. But when you have somebody that's speaking on something and people are like, you know what? That's good information. I can use that. I see how that pertains to my life and my family's life. Yeah, you know what? Let me go see what the brother have to say. And see, let me deal with this too. A lot of times I've heard this term thrown around with people. And I'm going to show you how this make people look stupid in case you never thought of this before. When people get to talking about, he pimping the community, he making all that money, selling stuff to people. For the dumbasses that let that come out their mouth. But for my lineage especially, Foundational Black American Freedmen, before all of these things that happen here in the modern era, you think about coming out of slavery, on into Reconstruction, up until Jim Crow, okay? Up until Jim Crow, or the end of Jim Crow, we had our own internal economy. We kept our money within our lineage and our community because we had no choice. I keep saying it, one of the worst things that ever happened to us was integration in the full society. And I say that for the main reason that it would have been cool if we had sense enough, our ancestors, our elders had sense enough to keep the economy that they already built up. As soon as the white folks start letting them go into their places, they start abandoning their own businesses. You don't ever abandon your economic stability. Why do you think that, okay, you see Asians, just to use them as an example, why do you think that they don't hire nobody but their people? Why do you think you don't hardly ever see them working in no Walmarts and nowhere like that? They know that keeping their economy in-house, especially with their small numbers, that's where their power comes from in the country, what little power they have, okay? That's why if you are going to buy something from these other groups, you could have the money to a T. You could offer to pay them more than it's worth. They'll tell you quick, hey, man, you got the money and I don't mean no harm, but nah, I got to pass this down in the family. So it's not about the money. They realize that, hey, it's not just about them. They got to pass that down in their lineage, okay? So, you know, you're supposed to do business with your own people. For the dummies that always saying, he's selling. Look, let me tell you something. I'm going back to what Dr. John Henry Clark said on this. You know, Dr. John Henry Clark was so serious with it. He said that we shouldn't even buy or wear underwear that we don't make. That's how cold he was with it. And he's right. Everything that we have and use, we should be trying to make it. And I'm going to add something on to our Grandmaster Teacher's words. If you don't have the ability to make the things that you use every day, and if you're over on my Patreon, you know I practice what I preach on this. If you don't have the ability to make the everyday things that we need, you should own stock in the companies that do, okay? I'm telling you right now, listen, man, y'all know how it is over there on Patreon. When I drop game on y'all and be like, hey, look, check this out. You can make you some money with this. And a lot of y'all have told me like, hey, brother, good looking out on that, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially a lot of young brothers and sisters, okay? So if you can't make it, you should own shares in companies that do. You understand? Look, let me give you a freebie right now. Y'all know on Patreon, this old news to y'all. First of all, if you're not familiar with day trading or how the stock market works, do read up on that and learn. But I'm going to give you a basic rule of thumb about investing in stocks, okay, or ETFs, okay? Invest in something that needs to be used every day and essential for society. I keep telling y'all, all the trucks that's out here, plane, train, boat, whatever, a truck has to bring it to your door. A truck of some type has to bring it to your door or the door of whatever establishment you're going to buy it from. Now, why am I saying that that's a good thing to invest in? Not the trucks themselves, but the parts that keep the trucks running. Do you understand how much money you can make? I'm not telling you what I think. I am telling you what I know. You hear me? You better look into different automotive parts, but especially these truck parts. That's a stable, consistent money maker right there. You understand me? So I just want to make that point, okay? If we not making everything that we need, we should have invested shares in these companies that are publicly traded so that you can get your money back. In fact, whatever you buy a lot of, I don't care what it is, especially these damn phones for the people that just got to have the next phone every time one come out. Okay, if you buying a lot of something, you should invest in stocks in that company if it's publicly traded. Okay, that's the way I teach my people to think. Okay, and that's the way I teach any women that I deal with to think. I'm like, listen, you got all these shoes, XYZ. How many shares you got in these companies? None. Okay, well, why don't you? Huh? Yeah, let's let it continue.
Elijah Muhammad had a 6th grade education, and he has one of the
No,
longest running successful organizations in America, ma'am. Yes, we can. As foundational Black Americans, this is our homeland, and I'm an expert on my damn lineage. And part of my expertise is to recognize tethers who are not of my lineage, and that would be you. Understand that, ma'am?
done nothing.
What, beloved? Go ahead, dear. I'm an expert on my damn lineage.
I'm just saying this. We're
an expert on my damn lineage because I'm from the lineage. I live the lineage. I didn't have to go to school to learn.
I'm arguing with a Black man who's not really.
I didn't have to go to school to learn about my lineage. I got parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, moms, dads from the lineage who school me every day about my lineage, ma'am.
But you have to go to school.
Nobody's schooling you about your fleeing ass lineage from your failed homelands, beloved.
Did you have to go to school to learn math?
Ma'am, your failed homeland don't know mathematics because they're building nothing over there.
You're talking about your own homeland.
Let's talk about your failed homeland, you and your dude.
Africa's your homeland too, baby.
No, the hell it is.
About? What are you
not a continental African,
What
man.
are you talking? You're still an
I am
African.
not a continental African. We are not continental Africans. That's not my homeland. I don't live over there. Nobody in my family lives over there. The countries over there don't even exist.
You're silly.
No, that's not silly. We're not generic Africans. Stop it, ma'am. You are a fleeing African. You probably came from some failed country over there. We didn't, beloved. We didn't, dear. So you can't try to Africanize us and take us
to Africanize you, but we're trying to give you a connection to where you come from.
You don't even have a connection because your family fled from there, ma'am. So how you gonna tell?
Where? I was born here.
Anchor baby.
So see, here's the thing. Because chances are that woman is Caribbean more than likely. If she's telling the truth about her family being from New York. Here's the thing. How you gonna give somebody a connection to something when if we go over to these places, sure. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. You go to most African nations, you'll be received well. But when you start talking about trying to like own things or buy stuff or actually doing business, you're gonna see how the temperature change. Now, I'm not saying you can't do business with individuals because you can. I do, okay? So you can do that. But that doesn't speak for the collective of their people. And then if you start talking about, okay, you from there, this, and the third, no, they're going to let you know quick. Okay, yeah, welcome home and all of that stuff. But yeah, no, when you really start trying to plug into the land like that, it ain't like that, bro. As far as the collective is concerned, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm going to say it again. Individuals are cool. The collective, nah. And look, that's okay. They know we're not them. How can you be from somewhere where your family had never been for 500 plus years? None of us were born over there of my lineage. African descent, yes. We acknowledge that. You can't deny who you are as far as your genetic lineage is concerned, but we are not culturally continental African. That is not hard to understand. And see, here's the thing too. What a lot of these Pan-Africanists don't realize is you can't force something on a country or a nation of people that they don't want. Not just our lineage. You can't force those continental African nations to accept us in. Case in point, if they really felt like we were their people and we belong over there and everything is about come back home, boy, a lot of them gonna hate this broadcast. I'm finna give you the death knell for that Pan-African babble. Okay, y'all ready for this? This is what shut down all that crap they talking about. Y'all gonna want to use this now from now on. Y'all ready? Get your pens and pads out to take notes. I'm gonna give you something that when they start talking about that, you hit them with this question, it's game over for all the nonsense. They're gonna go into emotional tirades and have breakdowns. Y'all ready? If they are so adamant, the Pan-Africanists, about saying, no, we trying to give you a connection. You got to go home, the motherland, the motherland, the motherland. Okay. Ask them this. Why aren't there more continental African nations, okay, out of the 54, that are saying, hey, you know what? Y'all are the lost children of Africa. We're going to do exactly what Israel does. And just like they do for any Jewish person that can go over there and get citizenship, that's of their faith. Why aren't they saying, hey, listen, those of you that have, genetic ties to Africa, okay, by your DNA test, come on over here. Pick a country. We'll get you started with the citizenship process. No red tape. Yeah, we got to do the background check and all of that because you don't want criminals coming to your country. But why aren't they talking like that? Bam, right there. That shut it all down. That shut it down. And look, no disrespect to the African, they got a right to govern their countries how they want. Nobody's begging them to do anything. I just made the point, though. The point that I'm making is, if they really considered us the lost children of Africa, they would do exactly what Israel did and say, hey, man, look, you of African descent, come on over here. Let's get you citizenship over here in a nation of your choosing. You don't see none of them countries trying to do that. Let's let it continue.
Beloved, you a bunch of anchor babies, you and your dude.
Oh,
Y'all
what
not
are you
connected
talking
with
about?
Africa. You're not connected with Africa because you ain't over there. Y'all fled to come over here, ma'am. You
sat here and had a whole live conversation where you could have been influencing Black people.
I'm influencing them now to recognize lying, fleeing tethers like yourself. That's what I'm doing.
You made this conversation an argument.
It's not an argument, ma'am. This is a schooling.
Now, notice she's saying that Tariq tried to make the conversation an argument, but she came in arguing with everybody. Y'all saw how disrespectful she was to Sister Wani and Professor Allen. She ain't done being disrespectful yet. Oh, just wait. Here it comes. Let's let it continue.
Argue with my equals. All others I teach. I'm teaching. This is a teaching moment. You're not on my level to argue with. I'm too thorough with this, beloved. This is a teaching moment to teach you to teach you to possibly go back to your homeland, you and your musty husband, and go fix those places back there.
He won't let me speak. He keeps muting me. Do you understand this?
You're not going to talk over us. You were very disrespectful to Professor Allen. You were very disrespectful.
That's the kind of energy that you
No. You were disrespectful to Wani while she was trying to talk, and you're trying to cut her off, yelling, you African. No, we don't do that, beloved. You're not going to try.
Not a good.
Ma'am, you're not going to project your failed lineage onto us, ma'am. That's what you want to do, and we're just
not a good influential person. At least Umar lets people talk.
I don't give a damn. Go holler at Umar then. Go to his place.
At least Umar could.
This ain't the Umar Johnson space. Umar's a Pan-Africanist like you. I disagree with his ideology. I'm not a lost African. If you want to hear about lost African talk, go to Umar. We're not lost Africans in America. We're foundational.
At least.
So yes, ma'am, we're different. We have a different ideology and we have a different lineage, beloved. But go ahead, dear.
At least Umar has a PhD and is speaking to things that he has knowledge of.
All clown Umar all the time.
You are a producer.
And that's another thing that makes people look ignorant when they do that and they come to somebody else's platform. They start talking about what another content creator or scholar or what have you starts trying to do on their platform. Like, okay, that's on that platform. See, that's another thing too that really kind of irks me when people keep trying to compare Brother Tariq and Brother Umar because, yes, Umar has been in a couple of Hidden Colors. But as everybody know, hey, they had a difference of ideologies. Quite some time, they used to go back and forth with one another, but that's a thing of the past now. So it's like you have a lot of people that keep trying to stir that up. And see, that's another little passive aggressive tactic that she tried to pull. You coming over here That's like, okay, you've been debunked on everything else, so now you pull out the Umar card. That still doesn't help your argument because you in someone else's space. See, let me tell y'all something. Y'all know what I say. On any platform that I'm on, you in my virtual house. You gonna respect the rules of the house or you gonna get your ass out. I will grab you by the neck virtually and throw your ass out like Uncle Phil used to do Jazzy Jeff on Fresh Prince, okay? I don't have much tolerance for it, all right? But I understand why he's putting up with this foolishness that she got going on here. Umar does this, Umar does that. Okay, like he said, take your little goofy ass over there to Umar's platform. And the only reason that chicks like her even listen to him because y'all know Umar, okay? Brother's very wise, very intelligent, but he is a super Simposaurus Rex, okay? Oh boy, you know he called everything a queen, and you know what I tell you, just like the title man and woman, queen and king are earned honorable titles. Don't just throw that term around, just like I tell y'all, I don't call everybody brother or sister. You got to earn that. Everybody ain't no king or no queen. I get why people say it. But that's not a title that you throw around to everybody. For example, let's deal with that queen term. I'm going to be specific in what I'm saying. You take somebody like a sister like Felicia Rashad, carry herself like nothing but a lady in public. Ain't no videos of her out here twerking. You don't know what that woman look like naked. You don't. Only her husband know that. Compare that to calling a Glorilla a queen like you would call her. You see how insulting that is? No. If you gonna put that label on every type of woman, then it means nothing. You've cheapened and devalued the word. You understand? Same thing can be applied to the word king. You have an upstanding brother out here, okay, that ain't got nothing going on other than what's positive, and then you go compare him with somebody like a Blueface and call them a king. You see what I'm saying? See, these words actually have meanings, but see, we're in a society today in America where we got so far from that they just make any word mean anything. Then it means nothing. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to break that down and make sure I was clear on why I said what I said about Umar. And I meant that too. But that right there, that does not help nobody. Blowing smoke up somebody's ass and never point out their flaws, that don't help men or women. That's why I don't co-sign that crap. You want to be better? Men and women, we have to face our flaws for what they are, recognize them, and improve upon them. And the only way you do that is with the truth. Let's let it continue.
And y'all clown Umar all the time for not building that school, beloved. Y'all clown that brother, and he's the main one running around talking about Pan-Africanism. I don't do that. I'm all about lineage here. I'm a foundational Black American. Let me get my brother McCall in here.
And before my brilliant brother McCall, that's a good friend of mine, by the way, very brilliant, man. Okay, he's over there on the continent doing good business right now. Before brother McCall speaks, let me point out something else. I got to do this. I'm not even trying to be petty. But brother Tariq got that museum up and running and open and doing business now before Umar got this school open, okay? And look, I'm going to be honest. I'm not saying that to be snide or petty. I was one of the people I was like, man, I hope Umar get the school open. I do. He got the buildings because, see, that's another thing. I don't just say something just to say it. He does have the buildings, but the buildings are not open yet. Now, he claimed that he done got the HVAC put in and all the renovations. I'm like, okay, well, what's taking so long to even do an open house, man, to just showcase what the place look like? Because that's something that's greatly needed. I want that to happen, but, man, it's been, 10 plus years now? So I said that to make the point of, she coming over here talking about Umar. If he wanted to embarrass her, he could have said, listen, don't compare me to him because I'm a person that when I say something, I've got a track record of getting done what I say. See, that's one thing you got to give brother Tariq. If he tell you he going to do something, damn it, he going to get it done. One way or another, he going to get it done. Umar can't say the same thing, at least as of yet. Let it continue.
Okay, McCall.
Great Minister of Code. How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm living a dream and winning.
Yes, indeed.
Ma'am, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I've been waiting to catch Mr. Nasheed for a minute. And
Okay.
I didn't want to follow him, right? Because I don't agree with him. So I don't want to follow him because I don't like his message at all. So what I did was I keep
Now let me pause it right here because I got two things to point out real quick. One, I want you to pay attention to my brother Mikhail's demeanor here, because this is a skill for the young brothers listening to this. This is a valuable skill that you must learn as a man. Okay, I want you to pay attention to how he handles this conversation, because this is a valuable skill that all men need to learn. The second point I want to make is, listen to what this woman just said. And see, she's not the only one. A lot of them have this thing where they think they're going to come into this brother's spaces and then just tell him how to run his space. You keep muting me. Yeah, you're in his space. He can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Then you think you're going to come over there and just make him agree with whatever you saying. You the nerve of that. Again, take it back to the concept of a virtual house. You think about anybody that come to your physical house. Everybody in this chat room, all of y'all got rules in your home. Some of you may have different rules than others, but let me ask this question. Anybody that come to your house, they got to abide by your rules, right? And if they don't, they get the fuck out, right? A lot of people don't understand it's the same thing when you come to somebody's platform. You ain't got to like what they're saying, but you're going to be respectful. You're going to have to be. So I want you to listen to how embarrassing this is when you have a woman that's doing this. And see, then I got to go back to what I said earlier in the broadcast. This lets me know that whoever that dude she with, she run the show in that relationship. Because women that actually respect their man, they don't go out their way to disrespect other men like this. Fact of business, women that are respectful to their man, they know they ain't got no place arguing with another man about nothing. You out of pocket. That man don't take care of you. He don't pay your bills. He's not responsible for protecting and providing for you. What the fuck is your ass doing arguing for him? I'm going to tell you right now, that's something to get me 38 hot. I wish I would be with a chick and you got the nerve to be arguing with another man that's not responsible for taking care of you. Have you lost your goddamn mind? But see, I'm built different. I come from that water hose Generation X generation, okay? We built a little different. We was outside when we was kids. Just let it go. Continue.
You know, I followed him real quick just to see when his next spaces was, because I wanted to see if he was intelligent enough to be questioned and challenged on his points and to be held accountable for people to be able to ask him, okay, Mr. Nasheed, we get it. These folk are tether. These folk are indigenous. These folk are African. We get it.
Right.
We have the distinction now.
Okay.
What's next? What are we doing?
Okay.
What's our plan?
Okay.
Umar can sit there and I can watch.
Look how she just running off at the mouth like a damn gerbil high on a mound of fucking cocaine. This is embarrassing. All women need to take notes on this. Don't you ever do this. If you want other men to not take you serious, if you want men that's got their shit together to avoid you, do this shit she doing right here. Look how she just won't let Brother Mikhail get a word in edgewise. Then on top of that, you in Tariq's space, like, what you think you gonna tell on Mikhail, and Mikhail gonna be like, all right, Tariq, you know you shouldn't do that in your spaces. The nerve of this motherfucker. She don't even know who she talking to. She don't even know who she talking to with Brother Mikhail, but he gonna introduce her in a minute to exactly who he is. And see, again, I want y'all to pay attention to how he handled this conversation.
Watch him, and he will put he can have 3 agendas that he wants to tackle, that he feels are important in the Black community. I asked Mr. Nasheed, can he name 3 of his agendas points as an FBA, and he couldn't. You know what he did? You know what he did?
What?
As a person that studies human behavior and has a degree in human behavior, he sat there and he deflected.
And her degree in human behavior, this is another old adage why we keep telling y'all having a degree from a college does not mean that you have common sense. It can't teach you that, okay? It can't teach you that. This is a perfect example of that.
He deflected because he doesn't want people like me, people who are there to challenge his opinion, people who are going to ask him to back his opinion up. People who are not going to just sit there and settle for whatever the next man is saying to me because he got a black face. That's why I came up on here. And to be attacked and to be called a tether and say I'm caping, that just shows, Mr. Nasheed, that you can't handle talking to an intellectual Black woman who has a different point of view than you.
See, let me point out something that's obvious too to most of the older men, but we got to make sure we teach all the lessons over here tonight. Because again, man, my brother Mikhail, very patient man, and that's the skill that I'm talking about you got to have as a man. Both he and Brother Tariq have exhibited a lot of patience here with this. But one of the lessons that younger black men must learn, the reason why you don't deal with no woman like that can't control that mouth, that's a dangerous thing. She can get you in situations that could be life or death if she don't know when to shut the fuck up. You understand me? And I'm saying it like it need to be said. That ain't cute. I ain't never find. Look, let me tell you something. I don't deal with women that don't know when to shut the fuck up. I don't. Because that's dangerous. They get a whole lot of people in situations that even if you can handle the situation, it could be avoided. That diarrhea of the mouth, that is deadly, man. Hey, man, shut the fuck up, man. Damn, it's more than one person on the stage. It's other people that want to come up to speak and just running off at the mouth. You can't do nothing with this. So I'm telling you, young black men, don't you deal with them like that. You can't fix that. It ain't up to you to try to correct that behavior. You can't do nothing with that but send her on her way, okay? There's plenty of other women out there that don't have that issue that'll get with your programs. Let it continue.
That just
Okay.
goes to show. So when I
I
asked
got it.
you,
I
have you gone to
understand. I
college? I
understand.
asked you
Okay,
why he
ma'am.
went to. I asked him why he went to college. Hold on,
You're
this is my
talking to
last
me.
point. I understand, and
Excuse
I
me,
don't
ma'am.
want to take your time away, but this is the last time I'm ever going to be on his space. So I just want to say
Okay.
this: I didn't ask him if he went to college to try to flaunt that I have some degree, right? I asked him if he went to college because college gives you those foundations.
Notice how many times she keeps saying, I. This is a very narcissistic and vain person because, again, anybody that's been on the X space, you know that there's other people in the X space that probably waiting to have a turn to speak. Anybody that's come in, I'm going to make it all about me. Fuck everybody else. There's nobody else in here but me. Even when Brother McKell is trying to talk to her, see, this is how I know that this woman, whatever dude she with, he a simp. He can't be like, because see, that's another thing. One thing I will say, if you do get with a continental African man, they not used to all that mouth from no chick. That's how I know she must have picked a simp to marry, because ain't no man, she do this at home. I know she do. You can't tell me she don't. Because like I said, most women that respect their men, whether it's their husband or their significant other that they're in a long-term relationship or they engaged to be married to, they know they ain't got no business arguing with no other man like this. Now, I'm not saying that women can't have points of view or discussions about things, but I'm saying like this is not the way to do it. Not only that, I'm going to add this to it. This is a woman that doesn't understand that when you running your mouth like this, and I got to say this, okay, especially any young ladies listen, when you run your mouth like this chick is doing, that's not power. Your power as a woman lies in being naturally soft-spoken and feminine. Now, does that mean that you a pushover? No. Does that mean you let people disrespect you? No. But all of us know, for example, let me give you the ultimate example right here in this broadcast. Go back and listen to how Sister Warnie sounded when she came in the room. Let me point it out for the hard heads that don't get it, that might be listening to this on the playback. Brothers, bear me witness on this in the chat room and give me the fire sign emoji if I'm telling the truth, and call me out if I'm lying about it too. This is interactive over here. All the men in the chat room, I want you to answer me this question. Are we as men, no matter what our lineage is, are we quicker to help women that sound like Wani? Or are we quicker to help women that sound like this tether winch? Come on, talk to me. Let me know. Even if I sign the chat, man, if I'm telling the truth about that. Are we not more inclined to help the women that are naturally feminine and soft-spoken versus the one that's all and just running off at the mouth? Come on now. Talk to me, brothers. Let everybody know in the chat room if I'm telling the truth about what I just said. Because, see, we all know that women that have that soft-spoken demeanor, they get far more out of us than the women that's running their mouth. Like, salute to the good brother King Wright in here. Because, see, let me go ahead and further break it down, because just in case anybody's confused on it, the reason why it's that way is because that resonates more with the man when you're using a soft, well-spoken tone as a woman. That moves us to do a lot more than you yelling or talking crazy to us like that. Nah, if anything, that puts up an abrasion in us. That puts up abrasiveness in us. We don't want to cooperate with you when you being a bitchosaurus rex. Okay, yeah, I said it, bitchosaurus rex. Feel free to use that term. Yeah. I guarantee you, if you just ran an experiment of women that went up talking to brothers with Wani's tone versus her tone, them women to get their way or whatever they're trying to get assistance with, 9 times out of 10, them brothers will help them. Okay? Real talk. Yeah. So I'm just saying, man, your power lies in being feminine and soft-spoken, and that doesn't mean you let people disrespect you. Okay? Because that's not what I'm saying. If anybody come at you wrong, you got the right to check their ass as a woman, as you should. But just in general, this behavior right here, man, let me tell you something. Like I said, old boy, whoever you are, she made you look bad by extension. Because see, as men, we already know, like, yeah, man, she running things in that relationship. She talk to you like that at home. That's one of the chicks that can tell her man to shut up in public and probably talk to his ass like he a little child in public. Oh yeah, this jazzy mouth right here, man, ain't nowhere in the hell. But his goofy ass was probably trying to get a green card to stay over here though, so that's probably why he did it. Let's let it continue.
Foundational skills of critical
Mm,
thinking that's
okay.
necessary. Okay? That's
Okay.
necessary.
Okay.
So when I ask him, have you gone to
So
college? I'm asking him, what is your
I heard the
expertise to be
ma'am.
sitting here
I
and
heard the
discrediting
conversation.
science?
It's okay.
Sorry.
I heard the conversation. I heard the conversation.
See, my good sister, Sister Studs Ed says she changed her voice, but she wants some. Yeah, see, that's another thing too. Yeah, I'm glad she said that because that's true. See, ladies, that's another thing. We know when y'all want y'all way. Oh boy, they turn into the nice, sweetest. Hey, they could have devil horns out their head 1 minute when they want something. Hey, babe, how you doing? Like, hey, what is coming from? Like, what you want? what you trying to get? You know what I'm saying? We just go ahead like, all right, come on now. Go ahead and tell me what you want. You know what I'm saying? I got jokes. Some of y'all are naturally sweet sisters like that. And see, you know, I'm messing with my sister right there. Shout out to her and her husband. But here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. Brothers, bear me witness on this. If we see a woman that we know for a fact don't bother nobody, she ain't no shit starter, and it's some jackass up there messing with her, we will knock your head smooth off about that sister, man. I'm talking about the sister that we know she ain't trying to fight nobody, none of that. Versus one of you damn a ratchet like sexy rig. I'm like, okay, she got it, she can handle it. Man, I'm telling you, man. Even if that's not you, it would behoove you to think about what I'm saying. Because see, I'm a man. I'm telling you how we respond naturally if we see that every man in this chat room got somebody, even if it's not just a family member, a homegirl that you know. I mean, everybody know a woman like that. You be like, yeah, bro, I got to do you bad, boy. If you go over there and coming at her the wrong way, especially if you're a dude, like, all right, nah, don't do that. And then look, I'm gonna go here with it. Okay, let's just say it's a chick or some chicks. All right, and she the soft-spoken sister. Okay, we know we can't beat up no women, but man, we might stick a foot out there so you trip, so that way she can go ahead and put your ass in a headlock or DDT you. I'm just saying, man, women that are soft-spoken get help. That's all I'm saying. Let's let them wrap up.
I heard the conversation. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I just want to throw the phone because I just feel like Trump just won. More than ever, black folks should be uniting. Black folks should be coming up with
Okay.
plans. Now this
Okay.
fool gonna pop up now, right after the
Okay.
election,
Ma'am.
to be telling us to
Ma'am.
be cooled
Ma'am.
out. Get out
Ma'am.
of here.
Ma'am. Okay, man. He didn't call you out of your name, but
I didn't say that. I
let
say he
me.
wants black people to be divided
Okay.
and amongst
I'm
people
black.
who are
I'm black.
who have
I'm
knowledge
black.
and are
I'm black.
educated, and
I'm
those
black.
okay.
I'm black. I'm black. You're talking to a black man,
And I'm
and I'm
glad
on
I
the
am, and
continent.
I know I am. I would
Yeah,
hope and I would pray that
there
there
you
are no
go.
Europeans in this black space. I would hope and I
Okay.
would pray that
So
this is our
let
space.
me. Can I ask you a question? If it's okay.
Yes,
Okay. You're a Pan African, right?
sure.
Okay. What's the Pan African agenda?
The Pan African agenda is black unity across all continents, black
Okay.
economic empowerment.
Okay. So my next question is: on the continent,
Hmm.
there are issues of tribalism, tribonomics, religiosity,
Okay.
revenge
And can I
wars.
ask you to give me an
Wait a minute.
example of those issues before the white man touched his foot on that continent? Can you name one instance or something
Mhm.
that could point to the fact that we were tribalist and we were divisive
Okay.
before the
So
European colonized?
And see, I got to pause this right here because shout out to my good brother, Mikhail. That's who's talking to Sister Only Pamela's Way. Very brilliant brother. If you're not familiar with Brother Mikhail, very smart man, okay? Very successful man, too. He's over there on the continent now doing business. But see, what she doesn't realize, Brother Mikhail asked her, what's the Pan-African agenda? And she says, well, unity, a global black unity, all this other stuff. Okay, in order to have that unity, though, everybody must first agree to it. And that starts with a common denominator interest. The problem she doesn't understand is when she starts bringing up, okay, well, because see, this is not a person that's going to solve problems. And there's plenty of women out there that are capable of solving problems, but this isn't one of them. Same thing, the reason why everybody saw that with Commandment here in this last election. But see, the reason why she's not a problem-solving type of woman is when somebody asks her a question, she deflects to something else. Talking about, okay, well, tell us when we were tribal before the white man. Beloved, it doesn't matter if it was before or after the white man. The point that matters is you're tribalistic over there now. That's where you start at. Now, you can't get unity if everybody's like, hey, you Yoruba and I'm Igbo, fuck you. Oh, you from Somalia, I'm from Ethiopia, now I don't rock with you. You can't have no unity like that. And see, I would have asked her, like, have you ever been to an African nation? Because, see, most of these Pan-Africanists, they've never been to the continent enough to understand what I'm talking about. See, for those of us that have been over there, we know they have tribal differences to this day. And I ain't talking about just no petty shit. Let me tell you something. You go online, whether it's Facebook or wherever, man, they always arguing with each other. And see, those things spill over into the real world. That's where they started in the real world. They just brought that online. In the real world, they are deadly serious about them tribal beefs that they have, to the point that they killing each other over that shit. But boy, and see, here's the really, really fucked up thing about it. And I got to go here. Historically, you can see evidence, and it's still going on today. Historically, you can see evidence that when they have a beef with another tribe, this is a dirty trick that them folks been using for years. And I'm not just talking about folks in the West. I'm talking about the Russians and whoever else want to come over there. They say, okay, so you Europeans don't like the Igbos, huh? Cool. They go back and talk to their buddies and let them know what the situation is. Like, hey, man, we can sell weapons to both sides. I'm going to go to this tribe, you go to that tribe. Man, we'll make our money in the middle. They be making a killing off them like that. Don't believe me? Oh, all you got to do is look back in history with that. Do your research on who really made money off of the Hutus and the Tutsis killing each other in Rwanda. Go do your research on that. See, for those of us that have actually been over there, man, we be trying to tell these Pan-Africanists, man, you really need to take a trip over there and spend you a good 6 months to a year just observing. Then you will see that, okay, sure, you can work with individuals, but as far as a collective, you got a long way to go. Because you're not going to just bop over there and say, hey, man, you can just put this to the side. And, man, because, like, for example, being pro-black over in most African nations, they really don't understand what that is unless they hear it from us. They really don't. They don't have a concept of that because they identify by their particular tribe. And that's their business. That's their right to do so. So a lot of these people, they have this idealistic pie in the sky vision of what it's going to be like and to be Pan-African, but they haven't been over there amongst the people to understand that, hey, you got a long uphill fight to get them to put aside them differences that they've had for hundreds of years. And in some cases, about them, they're like the Hatfields and McCoys. If you said, hey, what started this feud? I don't know. My folks didn't like them, so I just don't like them. In some cases, that's how it is. Now, in other cases, there are actually really good reasons why they have issues with one another, okay? In some cases. But more often than not, you don't even see changes with some of the younger generation, okay? Some of them still carry on them old tribal beats from the past, and see, they'll bring that bullshit over here, and we like, hey, man, don't bring that over here, because one thing that we have sense enough to do, they keep talking about the Bloods and the Crips. Let me tell you something. Even Bloods and Crips, when people were really banging like that, because they don't really bang like that anymore, but even Bloods and Crips from our lineage, they would put that shit to the side and be like, hey, man, we got to put these issues to the side because this is the bigger threat right now. And you see that across foundational Black American or Freedmen society. We know when to put differences aside one another and say, okay, look, after we take care of him, we'll go back to busting each other in the mouth later. But right now, we got to get him some of these foundation Black American God hammers that we were putting on each other. Huh? That's why them folks deal with us a certain way, because they know they do the wrong thing. We'll be like, hey, man, all this other stuff that we had problems with each other, let's put this shit to the side. The problem with our lineage is, though, we don't understand that we need to make that permanent in some cases. And it takes something extreme to make us get on code. Now, that's our issue. Got to be honest about that, okay? We got to get to a point where that becomes cemented as the standard. And we getting there. We getting there. We got a lot of work to do. And this is why we're so adamant about not letting tether winches like her get in the mix of what we're trying to build over here. Let's let it continue.
Africa.
Okay.
If you can point me.
So my
Okay.
question to you is, okay, what's the Pan-African solution for overlooking tribal bias, maximizing the people's skills, capabilities, motivations, and competencies?
Mm-hmm.
How are the Pan-Africans going to create jobs, deal with unemployment, compensation issues
So I
on the
guess let me
continent?
ask you.
Now, notice my brother Mikhail is talking logistics. He's talking about, okay, give me the mechanics or the Pan-African agenda that you say you got. He's asking logical questions. How you going to create viable jobs? What's the solution to remedy or like deal with some of these tribal beasts that you got going on? Huh? What's the solution to mitigate some of these tribal beasts? Everything he's asking, these are valid questions. Now, you think about every question that he asked. That's what you got to solve first before you have unity, because these are serious issues. I want you to listen to her response with this. And again, I'm going to say this. Whoever your husband is, lady, he should be ashamed of himself. He is not teaching you anything. And if he's trying to teach you, damn sure not listening. This is a shame. This is a disgrace to any man when his woman is out here acting like this. Let's let it continue.
How are the FBAs going to do it? If you can tell me how the FBAs are going to do it, I'll give you 3 points right now.
You see this? This is why I said that she's not capable of leadership, because you think I'm gonna use Kamala Harris again. Every time, most of the time when Kamala Harris was campaigning, before she got washed, every time somebody asked her about anything specific to her administration and what she's gonna do, what was the answer? But Donald Trump this, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. She just deflected away from everything Brother Mikhail asked by saying, well, you can tell me what the FDA is doing and I'll tell you this. Boy, anybody following her, man, you got to be out your damn mind. You really don't know what leadership look like if you following her. That's crazy right there. You answer a question with a question. Insanity, man. Let's let it continue.
Give me 3 points on how the FBAs are going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 3 points
Okay.
on how the FBAs plan
So
to do it.
sure, I can give you that, but you're
Okay.
not going to answer my. You're not going
All
to
right.
answer my question.
Okay.
Hmm?
So
You're not
let's
going
hear
to answer
yours.
my question.
No, I'm gonna
I
ask
asked
yours
you a
because I
question.
asked Mr. Nasheed actually earlier to name 3 points and he couldn't. So now that you're speaking for the group,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to
Mm-hmm.
name 3 agenda points and
Mm-hmm.
3 ways
Okay.
that you're gonna get that done. So we can
Well,
discuss
the
that.
first thing, we do have a 40-year paradigm building plan with
Okay.
agendas and initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
And we are focusing primarily on high-tech real estate development, right? In
Mm-hmm.
addition to,
Will those be black owned? Will those be black owned? Okay.
absolutely, in addition to decentralized finance,
Mm-hmm. And I agree with that.
in addition to manufacturing,
I
bringing manufacturing
100%.
to historically Black neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
I can go on and on, but the point I'm asking you, ma'am,
So I'm
is what
asking
is
you, how are you guys
what
are naming
what
what
is
you
the
want to
Pan
do.
African
How
what is the
what
Pan
are you guys doing
ma'am?
now? What are you guys okay, hold on. You can't you
We're
see what I'm
producing.
Boy, do y'all hear this helpful man? See, boy, I ain't gonna lie, man. I get it. That dude, that Nigerian that she married to, he had to be trying to get that green card. But if he had any of my type of sensibilities and my standards, oh no, a chick like this, man, would not cut the mustard. She would not pass the smell test. Oh no, that mouth like that, And see, I'm showing you this thumbnail because you know Brother Tariq with thumbnails. He got his eyes bucking down there on the left. That brother make the most hilarious thumbnails. But see, this is her. Her mouth wide open and won't close it. And you can't teach nobody nothing like that. We've all been told by our grandparents that you learn more with your mouth closed and both of your ears open. She ain't answering none of this man question. You know why she not answering this question? Because she don't have any answers. She can't. I just wanted to show y'all that thumbnail though. So if you want to hear the entirety of it, it's over there on his channel. Let's let it wrap up here.
And we're producing the agenda, and in addition to that, we will produce over the course of 40 years 8 consecutive 5-year plans. But I want to know, what is the Pan-African
So
agenda?
you don't have a plan. So you're gonna.
We do have a
Years,
plan,
you're gonna come up
and
with
we
a
have
plan. And you
agendas.
want
But
black
I've
folks to
asked
just follow
you,
you for the next 40 years.
but I'm asking you, ma'am, what is the Pan-African agenda?
What do you mean?
Oh my God. And she talking about she a graduate of Harvard? Family, I got to go ahead and say it. This woman has the mindset of a damn toddler. He just asked her over and over and explained to him what he was trying to get her to answer. What do you mean? And you gonna jump in a room talking about how educated you are? You see, man, just go to show you. Just because you went to a college, that doesn't mean you learned a damn thing. That's so embarrassing right there, man. That man, I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If I was dating a chick like that and I got wind of that's how she was talking, and I'd be like, hey man, this ain't gonna work. I'm gonna go ahead and back out of there. I'm like, nah, you're not gonna be embarrassing me. Because any woman that's representing me, you can't be looking like a damn idiot like that, because that's an extension of me. You're an extension of me. Same thing in the other direction. The men, we're extensions of our women. We represent each other when we're apart from each other. I don't deal with no dumb chick, man. This right here is just sad, man. You can't even answer a simple question this man asked you. Or let it continue.
Economic empowerment of black
how?
people.
You haven't said how.
What do you mean? Let me tell you what is the problem here. Let me tell you what
No,
is the
ma'am.
problem.
I asked you a question. You haven't answered my question respectfully.
Black economic empowerment means going into those. Are you asking what are we doing? Listen to me. No, you're not letting me speak. This is the thing. I'm trying to.
Did you just hear this, jackass? No, you're not letting me speak. You've been talking the whole fucking time, talking over people. People are trying to talk to you and you won't answer questions. No, you're not letting me speak. I told you this is a fucking narcissist here that you're dealing with. That's exactly what she is. And she's that way. And whatever type of little arrangement, marriage, or whatever she got, she ran all over that Nigerian dude. And he knew he can't say nothing because hell, he got that green card. That's why, man, y'all, these are the type of people that come over here and try to start arguments with us. This type. And now you see why I don't really engage them like that. Because I'm like, hey, man, let me tell you something, right? The way I run my spaces, and again, shout out to my brother Tariq. Don't tell nobody how to run theirs, but the way I run my space, if I ask your ass a question and you don't answer it, ain't gonna be no mute button. Guess where you going? The fuck up out my space. I ask a question, I want to answer. I don't play that shit. That is one of my pet peeves. I don't play that in my personal life. If I ask, and I'm not keen on repeating myself either. One of the things I learned from my grandparents, hey, listen, if you understand English and you heard what I said, I shouldn't have to repeat myself. I don't like that shit. But I understand why they did it. I'm glad they did it. There's a lesson to be taught in this. Let's let this wrap up, family. This is crazy. I'm gonna say it one more time. Whoever chick this is, man, you should be embarrassed, man. This is shameful right here.
Clarify your question. Are you asking the Pan-Africanist goals in terms of Black Americans here and abroad, or are you asking about what we're planning to do in Africa? Because you just said Africa has tribal warfare and all of those things. So I'm trying to clarify your question.
Okay. I'm in Africa, and I know the Pan-Africans are doing nothing. I know that for a fact. Okay. But I haven't seen a feasibility study, a Pan-African feasibility study. I haven't seen a Pan-African ethnographic study.
Okay.
Right. I haven't seen an economic development plan for Pan-Africans globally.
Okay.
Right. So But I'll land with that and let you continue having conversations with my
No,
brother.
wait, before you
Thank
end,
you,
I guess my
Brother
question, you
Tory.
said you were in Africa, right?
Take care of yourself.
Okay.
Take care of yourself,
You
man.
too, brother. You too.
Thank you.
And there you have it, family. There you have it. Bottom line is this. Only foundational Black American freedmen would define our lineage. All this other stuff, this rambling and trying to force us into being generic Africans and all of that, you have no authority to do that. And to be quite frank with you, you really don't have a say in our affairs. You don't. Just like we don't have a say in y'all affairs over in y'all homeland. You don't. Now, if we had the type of relationship between one another where we all helped each other out and didn't try to undermine each other, then hey, that would be a different conversation. But we don't have that at current. We just don't. Not amongst a collective. Individuals, sure. Individuals, sure. I know plenty in my personal life that I have that type of relationship with. Okay? But as far as collective, no, we just hadn't seen that yet. So until we get to that point, hey, go over there and fix what you got going on. Don't worry about us. We got us. We all we got and we all we need. It would be nice if we had more, but we're not going to deal with what is. We're going to work with where we're at and hold our ground here and get done what we need to do to produce justice and empowerment for our people. So with that said, family, salute to everybody contribute to the broadcast. Again, I hope you're enjoying this holiday season with your family. Okay, spend that quality time with your folks. Hopefully, most of y'all ain't in a situation where folks are still swirling and running around talking about this election, because no matter who would have won the election, you still got to go about your life. And if anybody's willing to not talk to you about that, then hey, that's not really your family anyway. Okay, yeah, let them go. Don't you be trying to run behind nobody about that, because ain't none of them white folks on either side of the equation dipping away from their family over anybody about no damn politics. You see them, they always hugged up with each other, no matter what they say about each other during this campaign cycle. I digress. Closing remarks here. I will, the second week of December, have that panel together for the sisters. I'm definitely going to reach out to you, Dr. Chanel Phillips, if you're still in here, and get you to participate. There's already a couple of sisters that have reached out to me about that. I think that's going to be a very productive X space. Like I said, it'll probably be me and maybe my brother Black Vulture and Reloaded, or somebody else co-hosting, or another sister if I can find one of y'all that'll be available. But the second week in December, we're going to get that going, okay? So if you're willing to participate, I'm starting to try to pull the sisters from the Patreon first, because I know most of y'all are going to be dead serious about doing this. And we're going to put that together to try to give the younger sisters some game on different employment opportunities, investments, things that they can do so that they will have alternatives if they're being pressured by their friends to do goofy shit like OnlyFans that can ruin their reputation for the rest of their life, not only on a professional level, but in their personal lives, okay? We're about solutions over here. So with that said, salute to you. Take care of yourselves. Black first. And I will see you all in future content.